I will adjust.
Okay, we'll do. And sounds like it'll be fun. Um, got everybody marked down. We're dead on average, but I know with some of the way things run, I'll try to beef it up slightly, and then of course, we can always adjust on the fly. This one seems pretty straightforward, but pretty fun, so I like that. And of course, it always starts off with that good old-fashioned DM narration. I always like to start with the code DDAL-DRW-INT-02. So if you need that for your logs, it's on Warhorn. I can repeat it again if you need it. And the title of this is Watchers of the Troll Claws. Watchers of the Troll Claws. So tier 1, thanks for joining me, you guys. I'm planning to continue this, but I'm going to do a break next month for some Christmas related stuff. And then in January, I'll pick back up on the 3rd and 4th in this series. So just keep a lookout for that.
I got a quick question. Are these tier one current series? Are they all loosely interlinked, or are they all standalone?
I haven't read the next 2 yet, but my interpretation is that they are standalone, and that they do seem to tie into like the overarching theme of like the Red Wizards and the DRW in general. But it does seem like they're not sequential or anything like that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem at all. Yeah, because they seem to take place in pretty vastly different places there too. Where the last one we were in Daggerford, and perfect segue here. We're starting off in a place called Triel. It's located along the tradeway between El Terrell and the Reaching Woods. Probably closest well-known place. El Terrell, if you played a certain book, perhaps, but Baldur's Gate is not terribly far away from here. But this Triel is just a small village, population of around 700, most of them who are working in the forestry industry, lumberjacks, if you will. And this area has been tried and tested by the harsh local conditions, and it has sturdy gates, tall palisades, and with that, it's become a favored stopover for caravans traveling the tradeway. The citizens here are mostly humans, with the occasional elf or dwarf, although with so many travelers and merchants and such passing through, you see all sorts of diverse selection of ancestries, some even like yourselves. Citizens here do mostly keep to themselves, as long as the caravans don't outstay their welcome. The people are friendly, but stern about keeping the gates shut at night due to the local monster population. So any visitors arriving after sundown get turned away until dawn, with no exceptions. And lastly, here in the center of Triel stands the Singing Wind, a 2-story inn large enough to accommodate a few caravan crews. The village smithy is not far from here and provides critical services for the local tree workers and the occasional adventurer. But given the small size here, it lacks a proper temple, but it does have a shrine dedicated to Eldath, the goddess of peace, pools, and quiet glades. And you would be here for your various reasons. I would assume we could give you that chance to explain in just a moment. But our adventure opens as night falls here and the gates close. You each would have to stay somewhere. You end up at this local inn there, the Singing Wind, and you start to hear some rumors and such. As you come in, you see it's busy enough, as it were, and you can all kind of find a seat where you notice somehow, coincidentally, 4 other people with the same look in their eyes of destiny awaiting to unfold. And of course, we would love to learn a little bit more about one another. So let's start with Ufri. If you could tell us, as you guys all kind of seat in a pretty normal, run-of-the-mill, well-kept, but not wealthy by any means, tavern. You sidle down into a booth, and Ufri, how would they see you, and how would you introduce yourself to the group?
Yeah, Ufri is a gentleman. He's clearly human, much like he looks in his token. Older, white hair, white beard, heavy robes. He's got a book prominently, attached to him. I don't know if it's on a staff like that, but whatever. But he's got it out and open. He's just always holding it. And he introduces us. Hello, I'm Ufri. Some Ufri the Uffish. Some call me Ufri. Some call me Uffish. Depends on what mood I'm in. But I'm glad to be here. Spent some time in the forest, spent some time in the jungles. Some of you may have heard of Port Ipanema. Recently came from there, down in the jungles of Chult. We had to fight off some pirates and had some adventures. But it's all good. A bit of a travel writer these days. I got to actually meet Volo. Look here, and he pulls out another book, and he's of Volo's Guide to Monsters with the autograph from Volo. Pretty awesome. He is a great dude. Um, you know, um, I it's worth it. Give him a little bit of money, he'll spread your fame and renown. But yeah, anyway, great to meet him. In my past, I had a bit of a way of putting images to words. People need me for Wizarding Weekly or the Arcana Atlas, or Almanac, I should say. Uh, you know, Sometimes I did some things where taking pictures of people, putting them on the page. Um, Pretty cool stuff. But this travel, kind of following celebrities around. That's kind of been my life in my second career here. So Humphrey just loves traveling around and meeting very interesting people, and that's what he does. He is a level 4 scribes wizard.
All right, great to have you again here. And I hate to disappoint, but I don't know if you'll get to face the peppermint dragon a third time quite yet. But we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. You never know what those eyes have seen. Moving on, though. Darthigan Smolderfist, or as I've been told, Darth Small.
Yes, Darth against Smolder Fist, or Darth Small to his friends. He's a Fire Ganassi, small one, obviously. Got a battle axe strapped across his back. Other than that, just normal clothes. Keeps drinking from this decanter he's got that never seems to empty. But other than that, also had to deal with pirates. He was on a boat that had a double mutiny at the same time, which was weird. But if you're going to have mutiny, you might as well do it twice. But after that, he's kind of like the '80s Incredible Hulk. He doesn't really have a home. Outstays his welcome with his anger issues pretty quickly, and just wanders around looking for ways to make money, ways to keep himself into these nice inns. And if it helps people, great. But mostly, I need the money. That's Darth Small. Level 2 barbarian.
Oh, with an ear out for the local rumors, you feel impending information coming your way, and yet it's Griff's turn. You see this man seated across from you, and he's got a pup by his side.
Yep, he's got a maul with him, and he's a fresh character, so I don't have much story for him. He's level 1 ranger. He's got a winter wolf pup with him.
His story awaiting to unfold. Glad to give him his kickoff here. Maybe you could even be a local here of Triel and just getting tired of the lumberjack life. But you'll have to help me with the pronunciation. Is it? I'll just let you do it first if you don't mind, Patrick.
No worries. It looks tricky, but I spelled it out phonetically in the Roll20 chat. It's so nay il on. So nail on.
Okay, so nail on. Gotcha.
Butcher it. Not a problem. I know it's a tongue twister, but you see before you a tall, looks like a tiefling, but has very fiendish features. The horns, the tail, the wings, the tongue, the attitude. She wears scale mail, has a shield, several weapons, flail, scimitar, whip, and she's got the all eyes on you, part of her custom background, and she claims to be a succubus who was stripped of her powers and flung from the abyss for unspecified crimes. But you will hear her grumbling and bitching under her tongue quite a lot about, Sonaelon, not evil enough, won't torture humans, won't bargain their souls. And you get the strong feeling she was kicked out of the Mean Girls Club.
This is awesome.
Now she has to make her way among the mortals.
Well, isn't that how mean girls always are, kicking each other out of the club?
Stabbing in the back, saying, that bag is so nice. And then behind the bag is like, you should seen that bag. It was easiest. We didn't touch it with tongues even. Yeah, we all been there, probably, maybe.
That's what I signed up for, but I wasn't evil enough. Oh, Sonaelon.
Oh man. Love the description too. I'm like, God damn, whips and chains. He's like, from my hips all the way to damn. I bringing some heat to the table. I thought I was gonna be Darth Small. But last but certainly not least, there is it Yngvi.
Yngvi, yes.
Yngvi, please.
Yes, just give me a sec. We need to do this because you said this was on the inn and they have alcohol. Let's see, how much wisdom do we have today? 18. Yeah, well, he managed. He comes into the door. I'm sorry, guys. He has a problem with alcohol. So the thing is, you see him entering the door. He has a halberd. He has a backpack. I would assume he imagine a Viking. And he goes up and looks around like. I guess he goes up to the bar and like, excuse me, do you have something for the night? And I assume they do, and like, okay, but it would be nice with a drink. Do you have something without alcohol?
Oh, well, actually, we do. We have some chilled fruit juice.
Oh, that sounds nice. I would very much like that. And I assume he gets it and he pays for it. He looks around where to sit and he seems Darth Small because Fire Genasi, and he knew a paladin that was a Fire Genasi. She was really nice. And of course, Sonaelon, of course, very intrigued by this group. So he comes up to you and says, good evening, my name is Yngvi. Would it be alright if I were to sit down with you?
Of course, there's plenty of room at the table. Hopefully you'll scoot over.
Join us.
Have a seat.
Welcome. Be welcome.
Yes. So how did all of you end up here? This place is a very weird place. I just fell out of a Feywild portal, and then I was here, and I didn't feel like sleeping out in the forest, so I went here.
Traveling down the road and made it in before dusk.
I was following Volo. He made his way through here. I don't know where he's gone since then, though.
Okay. Who is Volo?
Oh, he's a great, he's a master of lore, traveling all around the world, documenting all the wonderful creatures he has encountered, telling tales of his exploits, facing down the dread Demi-Lich Sararak. Oh, what a guy.
Sounds like maybe I should ask my sister if she's met him, because she has quite some stories as well. Maybe they can share some. I mean, you would be surprised all the things she's been doing, like killing Tiamat and saving Sariel, and I don't know all she's been doing. But anyway, no, we're here.
So that sort of thing. But, Darth Small, but the thing is, if it's in a book and you read it, it must be true, right?
Well, I've got some books for you.
In the days before internet, literature was truth, right? No, I'm not saying everything he's written is wrong. I'm just saying it might be exaggerated a little bit.
Well, I in my days as a copywriter, I do admit, sometimes it pays to advertise. You just expound upon the truth a little bit, catch everyone's attention. I understand. Yeah,
it's just enough to keep the reader's attention, I'm sure.
Oh, fascinating. And of curiosity, look right here. See this one? This is right there. He pulls out the Bolo's guide. Look at that.
Which page of Volo?
I think he's mostly interested in some of the undead. I think that he's what's a good one?
Some undead. Yes, the undead. I haven't met much of them myself. I only heard about them. But yes, annoying bunch. Very, very nice if you have a cleric or a paladin, because they have this thing, they are scared the shit out of them and then they run away. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, these beholders or devourers. Yeah, those are really scary. They sound scary at least. But Volo said, they're easy to take care of. So I'm sure if we ran across a devourer, we'd have no problem with it.
So how do rulers suggest that we would take care of, let's say, a beholder? Did he have any good suggestions on that?
We did. I was just listening, starstruck. He just was hanging on every word. He's a real celebrity.
Okay, well, I have my sister. Maybe you should meet her sometime. She lives in Elfswood, but she's about here and there and everywhere. I think you would like her stories as well.
I'd love
if
to.
you like travel stories,
yes,
stories.
Absolutely.
I think Bolo encouraged you to show a beholder a mirror.
No. Okay. That might work.
So there's speech of beholders and travel stories, and it all seems a little too coincidental with that, as the door of the singing wind suddenly busts open, and a rugged-looking merchant woman comes in. She seems to be a half-elf by her looks, probably about middle-aged or so. She kind of scans the room quickly with their piercing bright blue eyes that accent her long sun-bleached hair there. Her dark overcoat is tasteful. She's got a nice leather breech combination, and yet she's already kind of speaking loudly to a couple cronies coming in with her, as she says, "Yeah, and there we were, passing on our way, on the way to via Baldur's Gate, and all of a sudden we could see over there the river, the winding water. It's so low these days, and the banks were exposed. Well, something's going on over there. The strange mist was coming out. We didn't want to get too close, but it seems as if some temple's been unearthed, and it's full of these crazy-looking eyes, spewing this fog out." And at that, she kind of plops down in the seat next to you, and a couple other locals kind of walk up and fill in with her and her couple friends there. They're speaking loudly enough for you to hear, as one of the local loggers from the north here kind of speaks up, and he says, "Oh yeah, I saw that. The eyes. Oh, the eyes. Some sort of fog leaking out from those stony pupils. That whole area out there getting shrouded in that thin layer of fog, and oh boy, it stinks. By my reckoning, that could certainly be toxic."
Well, you sure that isn't like those weird mist that takes you places? Like if you go into it and you end up somewhere else?
It smells so bad you'd probably end up in the outhouse, I'd reckon, but who knows? Not sure what you mean by that. But we're kind of avoiding the place now, and could be a problem for any caravans.
So you're saying that fog passes over the road that the caravan uses?
It's been spewing out, and they even say in the nighttime, those same eyes that spew out the fog seem to glow. Seems kind of eerie to me. And with that, you hear as a chair scrapes back, and a hefty middle-aged man stands up and walks over to you. As he does, you notice kind of a hush falls over the room, as if just his mere presence kind of demands some respect. And he says, "Well, howdy there. It's funny you mention. I just rode in from Daggerford. My name's Ren. I passed that exposed temple on the way, and I saw some activity around there as well. Not sure if that's related, but it is sure an odd coincidence.
What kind of activity was it?
It seemed like some folk are messing around about there, and if you ask me, a strange temple suddenly appearing from the banks of the river there. Who knows what kind of secrets or treasures are waiting there, and boy, it'd be mighty wrong if they fall into the wrong hands, don't you think?
Well, news, maybe they will call forth Tiamat or something.
You see like almost a knowing look behind his eyes as he says, perhaps so. Well, I don't suppose you folks would be one to earn a bit of coin.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't planning of being here, but I suppose that a bit of coin never hurts.
And it never helps to make a friend as well. It kind of gives you like a sly wink.
Yeah, that's true. You never know when you need a helping hand somewhere. You are suddenly somewhere and you need a bed or something, and that's true as well.
Have you ever
so
heard the expression, dirty deeds done dirt cheap? Because that's us.
Well, I'm a Hugman, and we don't come cheap. We don't do cheap work.
Oh, a reward. Well, I'm sure you could find some pretty interesting artifacts there, and of course anything you find is yours to keep. And I may be able to put together a reward upon completion.
Well, so you say you come from Daggerford and saw this thing as well. I was recently in Daggerford myself. It was quite an experience. So are you going to be accompanying us, or what is your particular interest in this temple? I mean, obviously it's kind of stinky and stuff, but coming from Daggerford, here we are in Triel. What brings you to Triel? I mean, it's a wonderful logging town.
Well, I don't suppose any of you here in this group stand with a harp, do you? Perhaps a conversation best served after a little more trust is gained, but as I said, friends can be powerful allies when made. As for me, I'm dispatched to certain locations to make sure things are going the way they're supposed to, or check up on when they're not. It's probably about as much as I could say now, friends.
Sounds intriguing. And since we apparently mortals have to earn money to live, I guess I'll sign up.
Well, you said getting to know each other better. How do you do it? I mean, I'm from Northland Isles, and we have our way of getting to know each other. But I've also learned from coming to the mainland that sometimes you just do things differently, and it's kind of a culture shock at times. So this getting to know each other, like what is it we're supposed to do? How do we do that?
You can see that his hand has kind of been straying. One hand is kind of twisting this ring around one of his fingers, and then he'll kind of take his hand off for a moment, and it'll stray down to this bottle at his hip, and with that he finally kind of gives in and pulls it up and takes a big old swig off of it, and you could smell like heavy spirits kind of come off of it in waves, and he says, well, a little bit of hard work goes a long way, and not only do I need to know if I can trust you lot, but I need to know if you're capable. So if you can make it back alive with any tale of what's going on out there, then I would consider that a good enough deed in my eyes.
But didn't you want to talk to us before we went out and went to this temple or whatever it is, this peculiar building?
Oh, I get it. 1 second. He goes to the bar and he's like, around for the lot of them. Come on, gather around, friends. Let's toast to this. To new beginnings. He's starting to get a glazed look in his eyes.
Let's see how this goes. No, Ingve Bolts. He eats too much alcohol. He's like, no.
Oh, my apologies there. Ingvi, you said it was? My apologies. I'm trying to kick the habit myself, but it numbs the pain, if you will.
Yes, I used to be I used to enjoy the beer and the meat, but then let's just say things happened and I don't anymore.
And Samael says, if you can up the ante to a bottle of fire wine, then I'm in.
Well, I would suggest heading out the following morning anyhow. As, no good deeds done after the sun goes down. And he gives you another wink at that. But we can see how far this bottle goes, friends. Just make sure you're able to wake back up in the morning. And for sure, he's able to sit here. He's down to sit there at the bar with you guys. And I guess just real quick too, there is a caravan man from Sirana. That's the woman who came in earlier, and there's a dwarf there who can sell you guys anything from the PHB. So I mean, we can role play that out if so. But I figured with the Adventurers League, you guys are probably handling all that before you get here, anyways. But in any case, you guys can drink fire wine, fire whiskey, or just a good old ale. Their specialty really here is ale. And then for those of you that don't want alcohol, they do have the chilled fruit juice. That's
Ingrid's drinking all the. Oh yeah, do they have like actual fruits or fruit or vad heter det då? Fruit or berries? Honey, nuts. They have stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah, through a caravan passing through, they're able to keep a decent stock of even some kind of far away staples.
Oh yeah, he will turn like. It's obvious that it's his like how do you put it in English? Sorry, English is not my first language. But anyway, snill och beskeden is like not exactly docile, but the kind of like the thing you give children and then you just sit quietly in the corner. I'm very happy with life. What do you call that?
Oh shoot.
Tranquilizer, yeah. It works like that on this. If nothing else, it works like a tranquilizer.
Tranquilizer comes the base word of tranquil. I mean, that's kind of messed up, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, he sort of goes all tranquil. And has not really a problem with being around all the alcohol as long as he doesn't have to sniff it up close. As long as nobody breathes him straight in the face.
So the dwarf kind of senses your hesitancy around the alcohol, so he tries to keep you company somewhat. And he's a chatty guy, so he kind of tries to keep you distracted about their travels along the road and the customers they've been dealing with and stuff like that. Like, yeah, everything's been pretty good up until we came up and saw how the winding water had receded. Seemed like it's almost dried up.
I heard. It's weird, but if you are familiar with this area more than me, do you know if you have like a dry season or something like that? When the water is less, like summertime is usually less water because it doesn't rain as much and such. Or like, is it normal or is it like really peculiar that it's so little water in the river?
Well, I'm actually not from around here. I'm kind of coming from Phandalin, and that's only my latest home. But I would assume maybe, but with the talk around here, it does seem to be a little out of the ordinary. Perhaps it's just one of those cycles of the weather that's not so favorable to the folk around here. But I can tell you, I passed by that temple, and it was an ominous abomination there protruding from the riverbed.
You mean the temple or something else?
That temple, and I bet it's gonna be dark as all get out in there too, so make sure you're prepared. I got some torches here and things if you don't.
Yeah, I'm sure I could probably use a torch or two because well, I know a lot of adventures they can see in the dark, and like my sister she can, but I I don't know. It's a magic unknown she uses, I think, but I don't have that kind of magic. And he buys a bunch of torches. I don't know if the pot. Sorry, can't speak. Just give me a sec. I don't know if the torches are sold in packs. Like I want a pack of torches, and you get like, here I have 5. Like, or if you buy them one on one. If you get my.
Yeah, I guess
mean.
I'd have to. I think it would be one. Let me check real quick though. Torches. So that's 1 copper for 1. So not too bad.
Okay, so you can buy a pack of 5 because it's good to have. He buys a pack of he buys 5 torches and for which comes to a total of 5 coppers, if I understand you correctly.
Okay, yep. So he takes the 5 copper and he tucks it into his belt, where he also has his long curly beard. You see his buckle is of a roaring lion's head. And he says, that's funny, I only had 5 torches and you wanted every single one, but don't worry, I can stock more. It'll only take me a 10-day.
Okay. By the way, too bad my sister isn't here. She speaks Dwarvish. Would you say Dwarvish is different from, what's his biggest challenge between to learn Dwarvish?
Well,
Like for someone who speaks Common and of course Eluskan. But
if you ask me,
Eluskan
you
is
just gotta really love the stone. I mean, what? I don't understand why it would be more complicated than that. But maybe that's just a dwarf thing. I feel like if I could just touch the rock, the words just flow out of my mouth, and I could sing songs about it and all sorts of things. But then again, I've been speaking it since I was just a little tiny rock biter. So, well.
Maybe it's a bit like Luskan. You have sjösjuka sjömän vårdas av sjusköna sjuksköterskor på det sjunkande skeppet sjung. I mean, some things that's really complicated, but for me it's not a problem.
Well, that was pretty complicated.
I'm sorry guys, I just had to. It's just like 6 laxar i en laxask.
He's like, well, thanks. You look really nice today too. That was a pretty kind thing you just said.
Thank you. I like what you did for your beard. Yeah, they end up sharing like beauty tips about birds. And like, he shows off his comb, but like, of course he has a comb. I mean, come on, to comb his beard. Yes, maybe somebody else wants to speak.
All right.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing else here, you guys would spend the night in good company with a few drinks of your preference. And in the morning, you guys can leave for this unearthed temple at your leisure, of course. And is there anything else holding you back before you go?
Ufri did have one more question about those who had seen the temple. How big approximately is it on the banks? And do you think it goes like deeper underground? Is it like a little like 20 by 20 foot temple, or is it some very large floor plan place?
Old Soggy Wren, he'll let you know that I got a good look at it. Didn't want to go too far in, without being prepared, but it looked to me like I think it's hiding more than what it appears on the surface. It almost just appears to be this strange obelisk coming out of the riverbank. But if you ask me, there's a little more than meets the eye there.
All right. Well, good to know. Good to know.
You know how those things go. I don't know why these creatures favor underground, but it is what it is, I suppose.
All right, well, great. Well, that's all. If you wanted to know just a little bit more, since you're spending the night, he may flip through his spellbook and pick a couple different things for tomorrow.
Okay. All right, and the following day takes not very long at all to exit out of the gates there of Triel and make your way to where it's been indicated that this temple is. there in the riverbank. And as you approach the winding water, you get a better look at it. You see the temple resting there in the muddy sediment of the river, and it's just partly sticking out here of the exposed riverbank. And as the locals have described, you see this layer of fog just flowing from the temple walls to the ground and slowly drifting down this ramp that leads to a great set of double doors. Despite the early midday sun here and the clear blue sky, you notice your presence here is very much alone. You don't even hear birds chirping nearby. It seems as if the well-fitted stones here make it look as if it was carved from one single great slab, giving it that sort of obelisk appearance of this dark gray rock. It only comes up about 10 feet high as you approach it, and it's just muddy and slippery all around. You guys can take a look or go in or however you see fit.
I realized I got to mention that Yngvi is quite short. He's just 5 feet. But we look around. I think.
Yeah, on the way over, would it have been okay for Uffrey to cast a ritual spell while we're walking?
I'm not sure you could do that while walking. I think that would cause you'd have to like stand there and do like the ritual and stuff. But you could do it now though. Nothing's stopping you necessarily.
All right. Well, then, no worries. We'll just look around right now. Anything interesting on this place? I mean, there's a big obelisk there, right?
The thing that probably stands out the most is just the eyes. They're about 6 inches wide with a deeply cut ring around the iris, and it seems to be some sort of little hole there, perhaps, as fog seeps from the pupils of the eyes during the day, which it is right now. And so, sure enough, you could see this just kind of slow flow of fog, and it seems to be mostly harmless for now, other than just the obvious, like, kind of, obscuring things and such. But as you gaze upon the strange kind of symbols here, anyone can make a religion check if they feel apt to do so.
Sure. And it's pretty stinky then here also?
It does seem to have a slight acidic tinge to the air as you kind of come a little closer to it.
Yeah. So before we get too well, so are we all the way up at the obelisk, or are we still a fair bit distance away, kind of observing it from afar?
It's up to you guys.
Well, I mean, because I want to do something if we want to get right up close. So I'm just wondering where you're describing where we are.
I'd say if you want to get a closer look at it, you'd probably have to get a little closer if you want to do this religion check. So probably
Okay. Well, then what Uffrey would like to do is, like, I've been saving this spell scroll and I don't know what to do. And you're talking about stinky winds and stuff. So he pulls out a spell scroll and he's like, I have no idea if this will help, but I'm going to try it anyway because that's what it's there for. He'll cast the spell Warding Wind as we approach.
All right. And so the strong wind blows all around you. It does certainly blow all the fog away. And as it does, it even kind of starts to blow open the doors there. You could see that they were slightly ajar, but with that force, they boom, 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 they start to swing back and forth and kind of bang up against each other. As they do, you can catch sight of a single set of boot prints as the sunlight, kind of makes its way now through the fog as it's gone. It seems as if they lead to the open doors and back again, perhaps never even going inside. Really quick, though, with that religion check, it looked like Sonealon... Oh my gosh, my cat just made a big mess. With your amazing religion check there, you recognize these symbols being assigned to the beholder deity Gzemnid. And just some information you recall about Gzemnid is that he's the beholder deity of gases, fogs, obscurement, and deception. He is the son of the great beholder mother, the one true first beholder, and he is renowned for his ability to evade and escape by use of magic and deception. You get a sense that this is a temple to Gzemnid. And as you guys kind of catch sight of those tracks a little, with your warding wind there, I'll give you the honors of how to approach, but you could kind of investigate the tracks a little more, of course, and then also just start making your way in. And I'm going to do a quick map change.
So Nalon just says, well, yes, I was once bargained as a consort to a despicable priest of Gzemnid and learned a lot about him. Nothing to tell.
The earth rumbles violently beneath your feet.
Alfred will just say, well, hey, I'm not sure if this fog is any bad for our health, but stay close if you'd like. And he'll just kind of walk forward. There's a 10-foot radius around there. Let's have he'll get down and look at those tracks.
Okay, cool. You guys can kind of put yourself there at the number 1 there as you'll make your way in, and it's a little more dungeon crawly.
All right.
And we'll just reveal as we go. With a 20 investigation, Griff, you kind of take note of the tracks, bend down to get a closer look, kind of rub the dust of ancient times in between your fingers, lick it a little, just to get the true sense, as rangers do. And of course, it reveals so very much to you. You can confirm that these prints were most certainly a humanoid of average size. Probably a human, but definitely were made recently.
All right, he'd point out the tracks to the party, and also Pupper, and then Pupper would sniff along them.
So as we get closer, it appears that this door is kind of blowing open, kind of pop, pop, pop kind of thing.
Boom, boom, boom.
And I think we're way down here. Is that where we're supposed to be?
Yep, yeah, if you guys want to start down there, and then I can start to reveal a bit more. So, who wants to who's stepping in?
Uffrey's just going to concentrate on the warding wind until that's no longer useful. And so we're saying, hey, can anyone hear me? Over the It's kind of hard to talk in here.
Do I think there's any purpose to Sanaelon doing a fly around? Is there enough visibility or something like that?
So it is dark, and then you can do whatever you like, I suppose.
Well, I have 60-foot dark vision, so if there's not fog blocking everything, if I can see 60 feet, then I will do a quick once around at that height.
Okay, so you're gonna scout ahead?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Anybody following, or you'll just let?
Uffrey will cast the light spell upon Ingve if he's okay with that.
Yes, Ingve is okay with that. I will move him there. Now that we are over, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so that was Sanaelon that was gonna fly in, right?
Well, flying in, can we? Is there an around, or is it just in?
It's right now. It would just be, you could fly around the obelisk that's kind of exposed, although it seems most of it's still buried underneath the ground, and you see the eyes and things that seem to be carved into the outside of it. Is that, if that's what you meant, doing like a perimeter of the outside?
Yeah, I didn't know if there would be any purpose to that, or if we're just going into this structure.
Hey, you never know until you ask. But it seems like you guys have, it doesn't reveal much more, kind of getting a whole perimeter look on it.
Got it. And we're going north through this door, is that correct?
Yep.
Well, Sanaelon will push the door open and look inside.
Okay, and everybody's
I
hanging
look
back
in-
for
in
now
suicide vision.
as she does that.
Ingrid probably should with having the light spell on him because he's vad heter det? Shedding light, yes.
So you're gonna
So-
coming in behind Sonealon.
I mean, I'm looking before I leap. Can I see anything in front of me?
You can see inside that there is this is like a reception area of sorts. The ceiling here is a little more vaulted than other areas, and it comes up about 15 foot. This is probably where acolytes and visitors to the temple would be first met and such. You do see that there are double doors to the east and west, both kind of dangling from their hinges, and they seem to be scarred with visible claw marks. You kind of have to go in, I guess, to get any more information there. And as you pass through, you hear this kind of rhythmic, wet, slushing sound echoing from the east door. And it sounds a lot like a soaking wet sponge being dragged across tiles. Up in front of you, there is a tunnel protected by a portcullis that leads further north. You can get a closer look at that too, of course. And then, yeah. So what's your guys' take?
I can't see anything in this room.
I will reveal in just a moment.
Okay, hard to know what to do, in complete darkness, so to speak. So,
Right, because here's... it would be a path going forwards. Just give you a little more information, and then as soon as everybody starts entering in, I'll reveal more, of course. Oh, Darth Maul, you did it. Oh, of course. I always got this map came with some markers on it, so I got to be kind of careful. But as you walk in to follow, seems like the coast is clear, but you feel your foot kind of pressed down on a little tile. A pressure plate kind of triggers there, and it looks like anyone within 20 feet of the doors, which should be everybody at this point, will have to make a quick con save. As it releases this gas. It seems as if a series of tubes under the floor are crushed, and this toxic gas starts to kind of rise up and fill just a little. Oh, actually, I think honestly that'd be pushed away by the wind.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so
10
good
minutes
save.
is.
Good save. It wasn't a terribly damaging trap, but you triggered it, and yet it didn't matter. That's good.
Well, I'm very happy that warning wind is actually useful for something.
it just wisps the toxic wind away as soon as it appears. And yeah, no, that's a good one. And then so you can see up ahead how this tunnel at the north is kind of barred. Although you can take a closer look at that if you want. And then to the left and right are these doors slightly off hinge. And you kind of heard that schluck sound more so from the right.
And the doors are closed right now?
As you go up to take a look at them, you could do an investigation check.
I mean, are they visibly open?
No.
Okay. I didn't ask if they were locked. I asked if they were currently open.
So what's y'all's next move here?
I'll investigate this. What is this? A portcullis to my north?
There's a couple of portcullis making a gate there. Yep. Looks like with the 13, you can see that they seem to be of pretty old make, but yet would still require some force to just, force them open, I should say.
And what lies beyond?
It just seems to be perhaps 15 feet or so, ending in another set of gates, such as the same as what you're looking at.
Okay. And I'll investigate these. I'm not the best at it, but I can do something.
Oops. Supposed to reveal. As you can see down there. You take a look at that door, and you can take a peek in, and you see a murky pool in the center of the room. Other than that, there's kind of some more depictions and things on the walls. If you want to get a closer look, you most certainly could. And then there's another door on the opposite side.
Yeah, Alfred can't hear a thing, so he's just going to go up to this door and investigate it.
I will assist you.
That one seems to quickly turn in a hallway, which I guess I could reveal some of that. So you feel like you'd have to go a little further into to really see what's beyond there.
And you have advantage on your investigation check because I was helping.
Yay, help action.
You kind of hear that soft kind of sound coming from further beyond, and you get a closer look there. You can see that these claw marks are probably from maybe less a wild animal and seem to be more of like from a humanoid type creature.
Can you guys hear anything? Hello? No, I mean, this is Uffrey in the wind, so... sure, he hears. He doesn't hear this, so he's just going to kind of trundle on ahead.
So as you guys are kind of making your way in here, you see, since you first entered the temple here, the floor and your feet would be covered by this 1 foot deep layer of fog. But as you continue to move forward, it just kind of blows it, and you can kind of see the floor, as it were. It's a little damp and muddy, but you make it through into this room here. You turn this section, and you see that this was most likely some sort of confinement area.
So is this kind of fogginess kind of pervasive even inside here?
Indeed, it. Sorry, we're kind of rolling through, but there are eyes, the same eyes that are covering the outside of the temple, seem to be interlaced and move into the whole. Everything here is covered in these strange runes dedicated to this god that all kind of belch out that kind of fog. I did mention something a little different over here in this room, over to the left, where like the depictions on the wall kind of change more slightly in that room. You just have to go in to look at it, I suppose, but. That's how it keeps producing this fog that's kind of rolling over your feet until, of course, it's just wisped away.
All right,
Ingrid
cool.
has a suggestion actually when he sees rolling out of the fog, and he's like, if we took a blanket and stuffed it in the openings, would the gas stop coming out then?
What?
You get the sense you need a lot of blankets.
I said that if we take a blanket and stuff it in the Anna forgot the words for I just used. Sorry guys. Just give me a second. So he starts screaming on the top of his lungs. I said that what if we take a blanket and stuff it into the holes where the fog exits? Will it stop the fog then from coming out? And then you're like, what?
Yeah,
you hear,
Uffrey just shrugs. I don't know. I can't hear you.
and
great idea. I don't know. Go for it. Go for it.
Men for helvete, man, så fan lavet skit.
How many blanks you got?
Yeah, how many blankets do we have and how many blankets do we need? Yes.
So Naylan, as you kind of start to round that corner slightly, you see what's producing this sound. And locked into one of these cells over here, there seems to be just this giant mass of foldy flesh kind of falling all over each other and rotting. It forms a formless mound, if you will, and it's kind of just slowly rolling there on the floor, just providing this wet, squishy, echoing sound. And you as you guys make your way through, it seems as if every little nudge, every little pebble kind of moved. It echoes out violently throughout the confines here. And through these. It's trapped behind these bars that do seem to be pretty eroded, and yet are holding this creature in. But this sack of flesh kind of rolls over and looks towards you guys, and you see this waterlogged beholder zombie. It doesn't see all of you, of course, but it does see Sanaelon there. And as you come around, there he is. We'll roll initiative, honestly. He'll just kind of take a look at you and roars out, and you just spews fetid water and flesh as it all just kind of speckles out. As you can see that this thing's been trapped here for a very, very long time.
Any chance that Sanaelon would have had an opportunity to do a knowledge check of some sort just to see if she knows things about creatures like this?
Sure. Why not?
That be Arcana?
Yeah, I suppose with the beholder it could be.
Or religion if it's undead or something. I don't
Or
know.
nature. Yeah, I guess whichever kind of stab you're kind of going for, I'll tailor towards that.
Oh, I skipped class that day.
So just by getting a quick glance at it, you could see how not all of its eye stalks seem to be attached to its head anymore. A couple of them are just laying around the cell that it's trapped in. And yet it kind of raises up feebly as much as it can, and you can see how its great orb-like eye in the center of its pretty huge body there is milked over and long past seeing in the conventional sense. And yet it still reacts to every little sound and such that you make. It's kind of eyes twisting and targeting. But you guys will definitely get to go first. So did you get 2 17s there for Griff and for the pup? Hey, Griff. I see her in there twice. So just, okay. Gotcha. Alright, nice. So let's start with Darth Small. You just kind of hear some schlucking up above you, and perhaps maybe whatever, Sanaelon would say within a quick second.
Yeah, I see what has given Sanaelon pause. I want very little to do with it. Therefore, I will produce flame and chuck it at it. Does a 22 hit?
It does. Right.
It will take 8 fire, and then I will move out of its sight.
Okay, so I think it would be not that you move too much there, but we got to keep in mind that he's got that warding wind, which I do think makes everything around you difficult terrain too, eh?
Oh.
Which I think you were okay with that.
I was staying within 10 feet of him, so 5, 10, 15, 25, 30.
And so...
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I think that would have been 35, so 25. Done there. Sorry. Pass turn.
Yeah, I guess that whole deafening thing. You weren't kidding about that. Okay, nice. Yeah, and as the flame kind of licks over it, it just kind of bangs up against the cage and the wall as it really has nowhere to go, and just this wave of nauseating odor just washes over you as its flesh melts and smolders away. And Ingvi, it's hard to tell past the whipping of the wind and a few feet in front of you, but you get the sense there's some sort of commotion going on in the room ahead.
Yeah, let's go and check out the commotion. And it's just regular terrain? Not...
I think and when you get in that circle, it's going to be difficult.
Okay, yeah. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He gets there. And I guess he might see something. Yes, he sees something, but it's too far away from him to do anything because He doesn't have. No, he has a short bow actually, but I would assume it takes a bit of time to get it up and knock an arrow and shoot at it.
So I think if we haven't really specified. I guess no one technically would have a weapon drawn yet, as no one really had said anything earlier. But I mean, it doesn't. You could pull out a weapon, no problem.
Okay, then he uses a short bow. Pew!
Okay, so we'll have disadvantage because you're in that wind.
Yep, okay, a night. I guess it gets blown away. Pew!
Yeah, it just kind of gets caught up. You actually have to duck as it comes swirling back towards you. You're like, whoa! And then just fractures into the wall into like some noodles.
Yeah. That's
at least the light's still up, so you don't have to worry about the torch.
Yeah, well, I still see stuff. Yes, thank you very much, Geoffrey, for the light. Yes, anyway.
And Uffrey will look at you and nod as if he heard anything you said.
It's a good spell. Good spell. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else there,
I'm done.
Ingvi? Okay. So
No, I'm done.
So Naelan?
All right. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast a hex spell on this creature, targeting its strength for checks. And
Okay.
We'll see if necrotic does anything to it. I'll move to within 15 feet and then use my coiling grasp tattoo. So I extrude inky tendrils, and it needs to do a DC 14 strength save or be grappled.
Okay, looks like it will fail with an 11.
Awesome. And it does have disadvantage because of the hex, too.
So I guess one thing I'm curious about, because there are bars in front of you somewhat. So inky tendrils, so yeah, that's fair. Okay. So it's grappled as your tendrils are kind of going in between the bars there and such. So it'll do 9 damage. Got it.
Yep, 9 force damage. I'll say this thing is now grappled, at least until its next turn, and it's got disadvantage on strength, so it may stay this way if you guys want to just take pot shots, or you can move up, whatever you want.
All right, you call that out in your seductive voice. And then I guess Uffrey would be next.
Uffrey goes, what? He will... Actually, yeah, I think is it difficult to train for everyone but me, or does that include me? I forgot. Let me look at that real fast.
It looks like it does not include you.
Other than you. Okay, Uffrey will scoot forward, 5, 10, 15 feet, and see this thing. And then he is going to shoot a firebolt at it, because he doesn't like it either. 13.
It kind of splashes against the bars and kind of leaks in between them and kind of dissipates in that way and is unable to harm the creature before it can really get to it.
All right. Uffrey does not want to be near this thing either, so he will move back 15. Whoops, not off the map. Move back to the 15 feet for his full 30 feet. Actually, yeah. And then he will look to Griff and say, hey, come here. And he will, well, he won't say that, but he'll kind of wink at Griff and kind of say, come with me. And then he will telekinetically shove him and drag him 5 feet closer to Uffrey.
Griff, you look at Uffrey and you're like, is he saying kiss me? Ah, my bad. Sorry, Team America reference. Okay, so you do you...
Oh, was the beholder restrained or grappled or both?
I think he'd said grappled, but
okay. Wait a minute, Griff. If you want to move 5 feet closer because this is difficult terrain, business is coming up to you, and that'll be end of Uffrey's turn.
okay. So
Mic check. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, what's the save for the shove again? Is it wisdom?
It's like, no.
You can choose to fail it if you'd like, but it's strength if you want to resist. Yoink. All right.
And it looks like you removed Griff from the initiative.
No, you were on there twice. Maybe something happened there.
Well, yeah, I don't see him either. But
Yeah,
when Griff comes forward, I'll give him the thumbs up, and then
Okay.
that's
If you want to roll again, we can throw you on there. Because I can see it, but yeah, it had rolled twice earlier for some reason, I guess.
I see the dog. Let's see. I see one Griff and one dog.
Okay. All good. Maybe. There he is.
But it's a new initiative at 4. Oh, there is another Griff at 17.
Okay. I think we're all up to date there. Okay. So, yeah, again, I guess, it's hard to tell what's going on, but you can sense there's a commotion, obviously, and then Ufri kind of is like gesturing wildly towards you.
Sure, we'll go there. Peek around the corner, and I guess I'll take a longbow shot.
So the circle is difficult terrain. I think you're right here. So that'd be 5, 10,
Oh, the wind?
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he started right outside the door after getting yoinked 5 feet.
Alright, end of turn.
All right. Pupper move.
I'll dodge, and then end of turn.
Okay. All right. So this creature kind of tries to shake off the tendrils attached to it, and one of its little eye stalks kind of sprouts out from confinement and turns right towards Sonealon and reacts in a way that we will soon see. All right. As a beam shoots out towards you, it almost looks like white hot like bluish electricity as it just splashes across your form, and I'll need you to make a Constitution save.
All right. Do we start with inspiration?
Oh yeah, my bad. I should have mentioned that earlier. For everybody for the intros earlier, you got inspiration. So good call.
I will utilize that now.
We got too caught up in the moment. I forgot all about it. Looks like even with the 13, you feel your body grow rigid as you're frozen in place and you are paralyzed for 1 minute, but you can repeat the saving throw at the end of your turn.
That's what let's see.
And so...
Yeah, I'll do when it's my turn, yeah.
Yep. Okay. And so that's all they can do on its turn. So then we'll go to...
It's some of its eye stalks are still working. I'm paralyzed.
He squeezes out through, or she squeezes out through gritted teeth. Oh, wait, you're telepathic, right? Or no, maybe that was somebody else, right? My bad.
No, but I assume I can still,
Someone
speak.
in your party is telepathic. Telekinetic. Okay, my bad. All right, anywho, yeah, so Darth Small, at top of the round.
All right. Seeing my friend seize up there kind of makes me angry, so I will go up and rage. And then I will recklessly attack it with a battle axe, two-handed. Uh, 14 to hit.
Sorry, changing over movie for the little one. She's homesick with me today. But a 14 will miss.
Okay.
Yeah, and you feel the end of it kind of clang up against the bars there, and you could see if you're focusing towards the bars, you could probably break right through them, and that might help, with your accuracy some. But if you're not aiming for them, it just kind of scatters off in like a shower of sparks.
That would also help it come out, so I think I like it where it's at. So that'll be turned.
It's fair enough. Ingvi.
Yes, I have a question. This space here, or square, I mean, this square, does that one count as difficult terrain or something else?
I'd say nah.
Or
not-
regular. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So it's regular terrain. So it's 10 for that one, but this one is 5. Because then we have that's 10, 15, 15, 20, 25, 30.
And you're
And
there.
he poke it once, and he poke it twice. But if any of that hits, 10 and 12 hits, unless he has disadvantage.
Nope.
Iron-
So Nailon, you just hear this like clang clang going on as the two in front of you are just like smashing kind of not too effectively against the bars there, trying to get through to this creature.
Okay.
It's like this fat blob of flesh is lucky. And then so Nailon, you stand there rigid, but you can make that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have anything else there, Ingvi? I'm sorry.
No, that was all for Ingvi. He is moved and he's done action and bonus action.
Okay, just making sure. And then if you want to do that save again, Nailon, it would be a Constitution save.
All right.
With the 5, you feel yourself, your eyes just look back and forth as you try to get your body to respond to your will, and yet it refuses to.
All right. If this thing takes damage, I wonder, will it need to make concentration saving throws to keep this going? Or is it already on me for a full minute regardless?
I guess I don't really have to answer that, but yeah, I guess you'll see.
Yeah, you don't have to. No worries.
Okay, Ufri.
Yeah, Alfred's going to see his Sanalan lock up, but doesn't really like that. He's going to scoot forward 15 feet, have a look. Have we even hurt this thing yet, or is it in really good shape? Has it been wounded? Can I tell?
It's grappled. That's all I know about it.
Oh, my bad, I'm muted. But it seems as if it's really just got a good flesh wound. Just a scratch, really.
All right. Well, Uffrey is like, well, this thing is really nasty if it already took out one of our party members. So he's going to end up dropping the concentration on the wind as he casts a different spell instead. And it will be one of his favorites, Cloud of Fire Daggers. So he will flip through the page of his spell book and go, okay, Cloud of Daggers, Agonizer, Scorcher, Fire Daggers, and put the Fire Daggers right in the far corner of the cell. So they just show up and start tearing him up. And at the start of its turn, it'll take 12 fire damage. Then I will back up, and there's no more warding wind.
Pretty handy spell, if you ask me. As it's almost even hard to see what's happening, but just these pinpricks of fire just are slashing and gouging this creature, and it starts to roll and twist and moan horribly, probably spewing Darth and Ingvi with a nice layer of ichor as it does so.
Yeah, and I don't think that Sonalan wants to be standing in sight of this thing, so I'm just going to telekinetically yoink him 5 feet closer to me to get into some cover eventually. And I don't think he has an option to resist that. Unless you want to stay there, then I'll leave you there, Sonalan, but I'm trying to pull you around the corner.
No, feel free to. I'm incapacitated, but yeah, sure, you can.
All right. So I think the paralyzed creature will fail a strength save, so he just gets yoinked 5 feet closer to me, and he can willingly fail as well.
Just
So
that if you do move me 5 feet from where I am, then the grapple on the creature ends.
Oh, I think that when you got incapacitated, you dropped it as well. I think that's part of the grapple condition. If yeah. The grapple condition is if the grappler is incapacitated. Yeah. So well anyway, I will attempt to yoink you 5 feet, and it's up to you, and I will end my turn.
No, go ahead and drag me. I mean, I can't really speak to say anything, you know, and I can't resist. So it's really just all you do.
Savage. Okay, Griff then.
All right.
Did I already make my save? Was that my shot at ending this, right? My 5?
Yes. Yeah, so
Okay.
you'll do it at the end of your turn.
Yep, gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna use my bonus action and charger to make an attack. There's no advantage right now, right?
No. Nice.
Well, damn. And then there's an extra 5 from charger.
So 27?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and just this rush of just thick, oozing ichor that you kind of recognize as what's left of its blood just starts to waterfall from this wound you leave as you kind of extract your maul in between the bars there. You can see this creature is most certainly bloodied from a mighty swing from the level 1.
Yeah,
everyone else is
very
like,
nice.
how do we get through? All right, Pupper.
Pupper dodges, end of turn.
Okay. All right, so kind of recoils violently, takes that 12 damage from that fire at the start of his turn, and then it will, I guess it'll just kind of look towards Griff as you make your appearance and jab at it. That's kind of the last like sound and presence it detects as its milky eye stalk kind of turns and focuses on you, and let's see what happens. Oops, if I'm not in the right place. Jesus. Help if I could type. Nope. Alright, one of the eye stalks kind of turns towards you, and it looks like it's trying to fizzle and connect energy, and it's like this green aura that starts to come around it before it just kind of trembles and flops over as if it just can't even do that. But another one sprouts out and trains its beam on you and is able to get the job done, as it is not flaccid, and it shoots out this dark black ray towards you, Griff, and I'll need you to make a Constitution save. All right, 1 second. Man, this. So, as you fail the save, you feel this black necrotic energy just wash over your torso, and it starts to just find purchase and enter your body in any way it can. You feel nauseous at first before it just gets worse and worse, and the world starts to spin around you. It does exactly 12 damage with that necrotic. So slowly your vision just starts to get darker and darker and darker, and you feel the world spinning around you until finally your head collides with the stone underfoot as you fall. And then we'll go to Darth Small.
Well, Darth Small would prefer this thing pay attention to him and not Griff. So he's going to once again recklessly attack it. 16 this time?
You try to jam your battle axe through the bars, and you just can't quite wedge it through the right way. And it's very close, but it's not able to get through.
All right, that'll be turn.
Ingvi.
Yeah, he's annoyed that he can't hit this huge mass of flesh. That's just, yeah. Sorry, boom. Oh, I forgot to say that he was going to do it recklessly, but 20 at least should hit.
Oh, no worries. I'll give it to you too. It's okay. You said
okay.
You said it fast enough. But yeah, the 20 and the 18 will hit as well.
Okay. 20 and 18 hits. What was that? For a total of 10. 10 damage.
Yeah, and you feel yourself just having to compensate, twisting your weapon in odd ways that don't give you the right purchase it normally would, and yet you kind of drag back a couple mounds of flesh with the tip of your halberd there, and you feel like you got a little closer to victory with that.
Yes, that was all for Ingvi.
Okay. Snailon, you can make that save again at the end of your turn. Oh, and you feel the shackles lifted as you gain control of your facilities again. And you can wiggle your toes and such. It'll have to be on next turn before you truly act. As Uffrey, you're up.
All right, Uffrey will come around the corner here. Telekinetically yoink Griff's body, I believe, 5 feet closer to get it away from this beholder. Then he will launch a firebolt at the thing. 21
Definitely hits.
for 3 fire damage.
Adding on to those daggers swooping around its head.
And here comes a new roll for the next round of daggers.
Okay.
And so big 9. And then Uffrey will go 15 feet back to this corner. End of turn.
All right. Griff, just a death save from you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, 1 second. There's
Okay, got a good one. And Pupper.
dodge and turn.
Pupper runs up and grabs you by your cuff and tries to drag you back. Okay, so this creature stirs to life once more. I would say, let's see. Ingvi did get through there pretty well. But it'll train... Oh yeah, it does take that 9 fire, thanks. Which is very important as it's on its last eye stalk, if you will. But it'll turn that... Thanks, scam callers. It turns its eye stalk to Ingvi. And it starts to turn a magical color. Looks like it is the deathly, sickly black from before. Although I feel like a con save would probably not be your worst thing, but if you don't mind...
Yes, you will get a con save. Come in, come in.
Oh,
it is...
Damn.
Okay, sure.
Oh, and I rolled max on damage too, as you'll take 16 necrotic damage as it just trains its evil energy on you, and it just washes over. The reek of alcohol seems to fill your mind or your nose. You're unsure of which.
Yeah, but that thing reeks, and it's just awful. Yes.
Oh. It's like a shot of vodka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Small.
All right, once more with feeling.
Oh yeah, you're figuring it out. You're making little chinks in the bars enough you can kind of wedge your battle axe in and swing away for that 9.
Should be 11. I don't know why. I've got the rage added. It's just not showing.
Okay, got 11.
Yep.
All right, we're getting close here. All right, Ingvi.
So he's really going pissed off. He vad heter det? Reckless attack. Boom. Boom.
Okay, you throw that halberd in and get a direct hit. You feel the life force, what kind of remains, start to ebb out of this great hulking mound of flesh with an eyeball attached, worth view. And yet it's not quite dead, and you almost lose your halberd there as you like try to quickly pull it back, and it like turns sideways and like sticks on the bars, and you like yank a few times before you finally turn it the right way and pull it back through. Oh, that was a close one.
Totally.
Oh,
yeah, totally.
That's close.
That was all from Ingvi.
Okay. So Nailon, you can finally act again, and you feel you might be the one to get your revenge for freezing you up.
All right. Well, it does still have the hex upon it because that wouldn't have been broken as far as I know. So I will do a blast. I think that an Eldritch Blast will hit it.
You feel like if you can get it just between the bars, then it'd be exactly what you need. Oh my gosh, you can. You like blow a hole through the bars, just going right through this creature and probably putting a nice little smoking hole behind it too, as its lifeless corpse joins the fetid water underneath it. And yet, it is a zombie. We all know what that means, though.
Yeah, but that was a crit.
Yep, that's true. Okay, just want to double check. So, yep, it couldn't have been better there, honestly, as it twitches once, twitches twice, and then it snaps closed like a Pokeball as you caught yourself a beholder. Wow! Da, 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 da.
Nice.
Okay, and so in the aftermath, the probably obvious thing here is you hear a feeble kind of, sound there from Griff as his lifeblood is ebbing out.
Yeah.
You want 2 more saving throws from me?
I'm sure someone would probably respond quickly.
Yeah.
Or a potion of healing down his throat.
Yep. That's the way to go.
Okay, so if you're using a potion on him, of course, mark your logs that you used it and all that, and then if you want to roll for the HP. 2d4 plus 2, I believe.
So 9 total.
Okay. Alrighty, that was fun. Anything else, what you guys want to do now?
Probably go and search the body. So open up the, vad heter det? Open up the, not gate, but
The cell doors.
yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Open up that and check out and see if we find something,
So you
or
guys,
if it's just a pile of flesh.
yeah, you smash it open and you can kind of get a better look. Seems like there's not much here of value, although you could get a closer look there at the beholder zombie, and it seems, where was that? Oh, it has visible claw scars across what's left of its face, and it seems as if the centuries spent underwater just partly dissolved its skin. Some of the eye stalks are missing, and its central eye is just heavily clouded over. Didn't seem like he had any change in his pockets, though, as it were.
We can go into the other, if it looks like a place to shoot. Birds are hard, I'm sorry. We'll search this cell.
Yeah, the other jail cell, or I guess these are jail cells, right? Is it the other jail cell, or have any loot or anything on it in it?
You start to try to pick it over, and it gets more difficult as the fog starts to roll out once more, where it was kind of wisped away before by that spell. Now it starts to kind of fill the floor around your feet again. So it takes a little longer than you would anticipate, and yet you don't really see much there worth mentioning.
Okay.
Just a skeleton.
Yeah. Well, shall we continue then?
Yes. Do Yngwie still have the that light spell on him?
The light lasts for 1 hour, yes.
Okay, then he will be the one walking last behind everybody, simply to not vad heter det? Break out stealth.
Yeah, I don't want to interfere with the dark vision, right?
Yes. Or let's say that, and not alarm potential enemies about our presence too much. That's the idea, anyway.
Okay, so you guys want to keep heading down this passageway?
Uffrey's a human also, so he's hanging back with Yngwie. And if anyone else wants to go ahead, be my guest.
If you guys want to form up, I suppose, in front of the door and in the order that you want to go. Griff's like, screw you guys, I'm going home. He's like, that lumberjacking business is starting to sound a little better now. What the hell? I didn't know this was the kind of shit y'all were dealing with. Alrighty, so you can kind of kick open the doors there, and you see a hallway extending down with 3 little chambers kind of off to the right there, and of course another doorway leading deeper into the complex, you'd imagine, up here to the left. But you do see those kind of little quarantine chambers, as it were, that you could kind of take a look at if you so choose.
It's a good idea to check it out. You never know what's hiding in there. Or a treasury.
So I'll let you guys move your tokens down, and then I'll just, as you kind of approach the room, I would tell you what you need to know, I suppose. This is just wall. Okay, and so Snealan, you kind of approach the first chamber there and take a look in. You can see they have stone doors, but there are 6-inch wide portholes that are kind of latched shut from the outside with hooks and hinges. So you'd have to kind of unhook it to take a look in if you want.
Okay, I will open it.
So you open up the first one and take a look, and you see a large skeleton leaning against the back wall. Go ahead and give me a nature check there, if you don't mind. It's hard to identify what creature exactly this would be, although it seems to be kind of larger than the average, humanoid, I suppose. If anybody else wants to take one chance at it, a nature check, that might come up behind. Or you could take another shot at it if you want.
Humphrey wouldn't mind having a look at it, but if we get Ingve up here so I can have a better view.
It probably motions for Ingve to come with the lightweight.
All right, here comes a nature check. Hey, much better. Well, not really, but...
Humphrey said, "Be light," or something like that. And Ingve is like, "Okay, here's your light."
So you get a closer look at it, and it seems as if this is probably from a troll. That's all you're really able to determine. You kind of give it a quick look, and you're like, it's kind of the right size and the kind of shape of the skeleton. You've probably seen a diagram in a book at one point that would have showed you that. But it seems as if...
Humphrey studied up on the giant kin a little bit. So, yeah, one of the lesser ones.
All right, and you kind of recognize that those claw marks remind you of kind of what you've seen in the beginning of the complex and such. But you guys can keep on moving down. You go up to the second door, and you'd unlatch it and take a look in, and you see then the back of this chamber there is an 18-inch tall canopic jar with an eye on top, and it just barely peeks out of the fog on the floor there. The jar is sealed with wax on the top, but as you kind of take a peek in, you hear distinct high-pitched squealing issuing from within the jar, and it kind of wiggles slightly.
Have we found another Pokemon?
Humphrey, I don't know if I've seen canopic jars before, but this is disturbing. Humphrey will pull out his book, flip through the pages real quick, and hard cast a ritual from it. Detect magic. So I can do it once per day. I can do it as an action instead of a ritual time. So, boom, detect magic. Any magic on this canopic jar?
Looking at it, I think I'm gonna have to say no. But you do see kind of like the thick wax on top that seems to be sealing it shut.
Yeah, I will relay that to everybody and say, this is a canopic jar. There might be something icky sealed inside there. I'm not going to open it. If you would like to, I'll back you up.
Well, icky jars is not necessarily very pleasant. I mean, it doesn't seem to be fruit or berries in it or honey, so I don't think it's a kind of sticky we would like. It's the wrong kind of sticky, I assume. You mean?
Heyo.
Do we
Hello.
think it's it would weigh 10 pounds or less, this item?
The whole jar?
1 second.
Hmm.
1 second.
Yeah, I mean, just if I wanted to lift it up with Mage Hand, do I think 10 pounds would do it, or is it obviously like much more?
1 second. I think. I need to see a table in front of me for that, but I'd say yeah, for the sake of it, yeah, it's pretty small. It's only like a foot and a half tall, and then there'd be something inside there, but it didn't seem. You can kind of lift it up with your mage hand.
Okay, I just wanted to, have a guess. Can I do? I think I can before I actually do it, but I can easily open it or smash it. I mean, maybe it's not a good idea for us to leave this here behind us and can continue. Party, what do you think? Leave it or open it and deal with it now?
Guess it's on you.
If Alfred's just saying whatever you want to do, I'm not going to open that thing.
It's all in your hands.
Says, well, yeah, I'm going to open it up in that case, but I'm going to say everyone are ready. I'm going to ready an action or something to, blast or attack or whatever. Do you want to get in position before I do this, and then I'll pop it open and we'll deal with it now rather than have it sneak up behind us at some point.
Yeah, Alfred ready in action to shoot whatever steals Stone Island's soul.
Okay, so you can't
or attacks him.
You can't reserve an action outside of combat, but you guys can set up for a surprise round. I'd give you that, where you kind of you gather your weapons, like you're literally pointing your bow at the jar. So if combat was to ensue, then you guys would get a surprise round, I'd imagine. But as you go to smash it open, I'll need a strength check from you.
Oh, I have to make a strength check.
This thing is sealed.
I see. Okay, then, yeah, I would try to smash it if I think that would be even easier with the hand. But I'll try strength. It's not going to be. Do I use? I don't know. It's a mage hand, so.
Yeah, just a straight strength check will do. As your mage hand goes to hurl it down at the ground. Oh my gosh, and it just shatters into a million pieces. And as the fog kind of swirls up around the explosion there and kind of dissipates, you see a little creature pop out, and he looks very similar to the creature you just killed, except for much more alive and a lot smaller. He's a little gazer. It's a beholderkin, and again, if you've seen a beholder, then you could pretty much imagine a gazer. It's just a smaller version with kind of less eye stalks going on and stuff. And this one seems to have a bit of a chip on its shoulder as it looks at you, and at first the expression on its one-eyed face is of complete and utter horror. But as it kind of slowly soaks in the surroundings, it all of a sudden changes, and its mouth kind of goes into more of like an O shape, as it is most certainly in mock surprise. And then its performing instincts kick in as it starts to spin around and do some barrel rolls in the air and say, "Oh my goodness!" And this is in Giant, so if anybody understands Giant, you hear him say, "Oh my gosh! Thousands of years in a bottle! Good thing I don't have a neck, or I might have gotten stuck, am I right?" And he starts to nudge you a little with one of his eye stalks. Am I right?
Yes.
Go ahead. You freed it.
I'll be like, oh my goodness, I don't speak that language, but I'll try common, and I'll say, are you by chance looking to apprentice to someone?
He switches over to common and he says, "Apprentice? Why, I just met you!"
That's perfect. I said, well, yes, I'm Sanaelon. They're not quite evil enough, and these are my compatriots, and we'd love to know who you are.
Oh, me? Oh my goodness, it's been so long. Ever since that guy, well, you see what happened to him. And he kind of gestures towards the troll skeleton. That was my only friend. I can't really hear much outside of my boundaries, but oh man, the conversations we'd have. Anywho, you could call me Naren, and well, I'm a jester for the Beholder kin that used to live here. Oh, I was the most popular. I would sing the songs, dance the dances. It wasn't until those stinking trolls rolled through. Well,
what did the trolls do to you? Did they put you in this jar?
No, but they didn't release me, and that's pretty messed up, right? They came in here after my kin were long gone, ran out the last few of them, and then who knows what they were doing here, but my goodness. They left me here in this jar the whole time. Some jerks. Can you believe that?
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad you're finally freed, and we could maybe use your help if you know anything about this place. I was once apprenticed. Well, not exactly apprenticed, if you know what I mean, to Garvok the Vile. A priest of Gzemnid, whatever the beholder guy is.
He like sidles up to Uffrey and he's like, more like Garvak the Senile, am I right? Oh, I kid. But helping you? Yeah, of course. I mean, you let me out of my little prison there. It's the least I could do. Whatever you need.
Yes, and perhaps we can make an apprenticeship kind of deal. We'll talk about that depending on, performance in this and knowledge of this dungeon. But I could perhaps use an apprentice later.
Well, I sure don't mind entertaining you guys while you're here. I'll stick by your side and, I can at least lighten the mood. But here, I had this in my jar too, and while it looks a little crusty, maybe just a few drops of water would probably put it back right. And since you guys are being so nice to him, he hands you over a potion of healing. And he says, now I'll be honest, it's been a good while, but I might be able to know a little bit about the place if you have any questions, or else I'll just kind of follow along and, pitch in the narrative here and there.
That would be great if you hang out with us. Naren, did I catch that right?
That is indeed it. Naren, the one and only.
All right. Well, Naren, we're kind of on a little bit of a recon mission here, checking things out. So appreciate the humor, but time and place, right? If we're in the middle of combat, if we're kind of sneaking around, let's keep it calm, and then after something happens, we can chat some more. But what do you know about this place? I mean, you're like a big fan of Gzemnid too?
I mean, who wouldn't be? He's pretty glorious. There's a few of his statues here and there that you could see, and I mean, he was pretty awesome. We all are made in his image, and the Beholder Mother before him.
Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, but what, like the trolls? They showed up and kind of wrecked this place for a while, or I guess that's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
And anyway, the year is the 1463 or whatever the heck year it is. I don't even know.
Holy hell! Has it really been that long? I had a girlfriend. I'll admit, I was kind of slacking. I was starting to slack a bit, and my own brothers put me in the jar, but the trolls didn't let me out, and they seemed to take over the place after it was abandoned, and they lived here for a while until eventually they moved on, and then things got really, really quiet for a long, long time. But I do know that there's some tricks to getting around the place.
Yeah, what about all this fog? How do we deal with that? We temporarily dealt with it, but it's all back now.
I mean, what do you mean? It's pretty cool, isn't it?
I mean, we can't see our feet, though. I mean, it's not really an issue for you. You just gotta float around, right?
True. I'm still not seeing the problem here, though.
Well, maybe not for you, but we need to see. Otherwise, we might end up walking into like hole potholes in the floor, and you never know. Maybe we end up walking into traps that we otherwise could have foreseen because we didn't see the floor. Of course, I can poke the floor with my halberd, but well, it's easier to do something with it when you see the floor. And maybe it's smelling really bad. Don't you feel the horrible smell of the fog?
He just has like a look of utter confusion. He's like, "What? I mean, I guess you guys don't see paradise when it's right in front of your face, but I mean,
Maybe we have a different opinions of what a paradise is.
hey, this place is pretty great. And, you know, I like the fog because it reminds me of Gzemnid himself. It's almost like he's breathing his hot, loving air upon me everywhere I go. But to answer your question, I'm really not sure. I'm not a cleric. I'm a jester. There was a series of clerics that would work in here, and in fact, there's actually a room just beyond these doors here as kind of their prayer room. I want to be a little useful, so I don't know if I could do anything about the fog, but I would just keep a keen eye out for any kind of hidden secret areas or mechanisms or anything like that. As I know, sometimes you might get locked behind some doors, and there's always a switch, you know.
Okay, well, good.
It sounds like maybe I should, the one going first, maybe should borrow my halberd and use it for poking the ground. Just don't poke you in your face with a sticky end. The pointy end? Yes, the pointy end. Don't do that, please. That hurts.
All right. Well, shall we continue on, folks?
One of life's beautiful lessons. All right, you guys want to...
I imagine that Yngve gives, is it Sonel? Let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. Sonaila. Was that right?
Yes, that's her.
Sonaila. She works first, right? Yngve offers her his halberd simply so she can poke the floor so she doesn't fall in any potholes or something because of the fog.
Okay, well, she can also fly and use the halberd as well to tap the field, which she'll do.
Yeah, that works. Yes.
Okay.
Shall we check out this other meditation room or whatever it is?
Oh yeah, not to be too anticlimactic, but there actually is. It's just a muddy-filled room in there. It's nothing of interest there too much. Just a mud-filled pit of a room.
We open the door, we see the mud, we are like, ew, and then go away, I suppose.
Marin kind of like rolls in it a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, this used to be my old quarters, or maybe this is just where they locked me whenever I was talking too much." But anywho, I mean, have you ever met a gazer that talks? I'm special.
I don't know. I haven't. I don't think I've met any gazers before, so this is kind of a new experience for me.
Yeah, I met a couple gazers on a pirate ship. They were a bit salty. But
no,
didn't
oh my
talk
God!
either, so
that's a good one. Can I use that?
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'll be here all night.
And so he's kind of floating, following you guys as you open the door there to the next area, and you hear him kind of humming to himself. I'm a gazer in a bottle, baby. Gotta rub me the right way. Oh, okay. I think this is the time where I'm supposed to be quiet.
Yes, I think so. If you want to, we can tell you when to be quiet. When we are trying to walk without notice, that is a good time to be quiet. But
Okay,
I can remind you if you talk and we try to be quiet. Is that all right with you?
Sure. But if genius strikes, but I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
Yes.
Now this is a pretty important room. Don't desecrate anything. And you guys come in to see an altar set up against the south wall there towards the back. It has 4-inch wide holes in it. It seems about 10 of them. And you can see several etchings carved into the wall that kind of differentiate from the usual eyes. Especially behind the altar there, you see dozens of beholderkin adoring and praising a gigantic beholder in the center of the image. The gigantic one stretches elongated eye stalks towards the holes in the altar. And as you guys would kind of start to file in to kind of assess the situation, you all of a sudden hear a booming voice that seems to come from absolutely nowhere. One second, let me pull this up. As all of a sudden you hear, "Who dares disturb the resting place chosen by the mighty Mortimer?"
Well, we apologize to disturb your resting place. We're just passing through.
And then it seems as if the attention kind of focuses on Sanealon a little bit, and he says, "No!" He kind of howls loudly. "I will not be tricked by a devil again!"
I'm a demon, you twit.
And yet the treatment of foul beings like yourself towards innocent monstrosities like myself will cease now. And with that, we will roll some initiative.
I feel like saying, of course we will. It's how these things goes, but it's not true. Oh, Ingve, yeah, but it fits that he's last because he's at the end of the queue? No. What's the queue? Whatever.
Q is good.
Okay, yeah, he's last in the queue.
End of the turn order, Q, whatever.
Yeah.
All good.
No, not the turner, but he was walking last in the group. He was watching the back of everybody.
Oh yes.
That kind of end of the queue.
It's with my monologuing there, I would assume that everybody had kind of like moved up either inside the room or at least close enough to where they could hear and kind of see what's going on. So if you want to move to the
Okay, I would say there then. yeah, no worries.
And this is you'll see in just a moment. But let me get my initiative. Everybody's on. Okay. So, Sanealon, you hear this, and it seems to be even a little directed towards you, although maybe a bit incorrectly, there towards the end. I think if I said demon, I meant to say devil, but either way. But yeah, this invisible kind of force just calls out. You can't see anything in the room necessarily. That seems to be yelling this towards you, although it seems to be somewhat in front of you. You know, you can detect the sound, of course. So it's invisible in the moment, so it would be with like disadvantage and stuff, whatever you might do, and then some spells and stuff wouldn't be able to work. But you are free to act in any way you see fit.
Okay, and is there anything else, any other people in the room? Is it full of fog? Is there a reason we can't see our person we're talking to?
And you see like almost a stirring of the fog that kind of indicates that something might be in that location, but again, you just cannot see anything.
So the entire room was filled with fog?
No, just like a foot, the foot at your feet. It's like a foot tall, so you can kind of see a slight disturbance there. But the room isn't filled with fog necessarily, and you see the altar, you see the art on the walls, and then you just hear that booming voice, seemingly from nowhere.
Yeah, I'll offer you a little shout out. Hey, Sonai, don't some of these fiendish and some of these familiars turn invisible, right? I don't know if you ever run across them.
Yeah, many familiars, special familiars, can do that easily. And I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good upon myself.
Okay.
And you said this thing is it in the square right next to us, or?
It seems to be coming up from the chamber up ahead, like pretty much directly in front of you, somewhere in there.
You mentioned a disturbance in the fog. Where is that disturbance?
It seems to be pretty close to the center there of the chamber.
So like where the 8 is?
Yep. Okay. Anything else for you there?
I just say, hello, Mr. Disturbance in the Fog.
Mm. Okay. That's how you cast your spell. Anything else?
No, I'll just chill out here.
Okay, Griff.
All right. Sure, why not? I'll dash, do the bonus action attack, disadvantage.
You
Assume 10
feel
doesn't hit anything?
you feel a presence near, and yet when you swipe forward, you feel like you just didn't quite hit the right direction of sorts, and you hit empty air.
All right. End of turn. Pupper, I'll dodge end of turn.
All right. It looks as if the mist there, or the fog in front of you, starts to swirl slightly as the creature calls out, "And look at this chump! He looks like he's never even been on an adventure ever before." And then he kind of calls out, "I was tricked once, and it looks like you'll be the ones to pay. You walked into the wrong person's lair today. I found this place, and it's going to be mine." And then you just feel this lash out towards you. We'll go like a gnashing of jaws towards Sinealon, and looks like with a 9, you just feel like or hear the kind of clamp of the jaws kind of nearby you, but most definitely misses. And then the mist kind of or the fog swirls a bit. Oh shoot, that's a bounce back as it just smacks you dead on, and you feel these razor sharp claws kind of dig into you there. That was a crit.
Okay, now if it is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead, then it does have disadvantage on attacks against me.
Okay. And even with that, it looks like it will do 8 slashing damage to you. And then, just to even it up a bit, throws one more claw there towards Griff for a 22. And that'll be 9 slashing. Sorry, dude. Damn it. Oh well.
And you might need to make a concentration check to keep my spell.
Yep, you took damage there. It looks like you're good. Okay, and then you feel the presence coming from just directly in front of you guys. And then it'd be Pupper's turn to act.
Oh, Pupper dodges end of turn.
Alright, free.
Did that thing like become visible or anything after it was making these attacks?
No.
No, huh?
Nope.
That's not good. Let me see here. No, that one doesn't work. Let me check one more thing real fast. I'll decide what to do. I don't think any of those will be useful. All right. Well, Uffrey is going to say, well, whoops. He's going to scoot back here and say, all right, Ingve, we're going to need you here. Go get him. And Ingve or Uffrey will cast a spell upon Ingve, assuming you're okay with that. I'm going to make you large.
Okay. Can I get through the door? That's the question too.
Or actually, maybe I should do this first. While I'm here, I'm going to yoink you 5 feet toward me, and then I'm going to run over here and make you large, if that works.
Okay, so he will be here Is that the intention? Before
Well, I
going
can only move you 5 feet, but I'm
Okay.
not sure how. When you go big, I don't know how the DM will rule where you go. But that's the plan. Yoink Ingve toward the action, make Ingve large, and that will be end of turn.
Yeah. He has seen people growing large before, so it's nothing new. His body and arms used to do that as well.
Excellent.
So you hear a yelp and a whine as Pupper is almost crushed. Wah! And then your body just squonk and gets squeezed through as you grow to great proportions. So you're there in the hall.
Do we have a sec to just give a quick pat on the head to what's it called? Guffer? No? The dog.
Just Pupper. Just little Pupper. It
The
Pupper.
Pupper. To give him sorry, kind of sorry kind of thing. I like you. I didn't mean to squish you. Whatever. Anyway.
he cocks his head and kind of starts to wag a little bit. Darth Small.
So we think it's in front of Griff, or we think it's in front of Snillian? Like, do I think I'm next to it now, or do I need to go down one?
You could try to go further if you want. Oh, it resists. You can't go there.
All right, then I will swing at the square recklessly, two-handed battle axe.
Okay. Battle axe raised high above your head, hoping. Can't get any more disadvantage, but with the 17, you hit something, and you hear a cry out.
Just 5 damage. That'll be turn.
All right. Ingvi.
Yes, Ingvi is big now. He's a big boy. He goes 5'10". No. 50, 15, 20, 25. Something like that. He goes over there and he can't see anything as far as I understand it. We don't see any enemy, do we?
No, and you can see, like, it seems as if your friends are engaged with something very close to them, and as you're rushing forward, you see Griff kind of, like, drop as a spurt of his blood kind of shoots from his chest. It looks like a claw grazed across his front there.
Okay, he recklessly attacks in the direction where he thinks the claw attack on Griff came from.
So I'm guessing your reach goes up to 10, right?
It should be because the halberd.
And then, yeah, I guess you're just going right over Griff there. Okay, so the 16 will connect with something, and it seems as if the butt end just kind of whiffs up into the air.
Okay, so 16 and 17 because reckless attack.
But he is invisible.
Or wasn't I? Maybe I didn't say it clearly enough. Probably.
No, you did, but he is invisible, so I think that would.
Okay, yeah, sure. That makes sense. The 16, the first one goes. Vad heter det? The first goes and enters, but not the second. And 1d4.
Let me add that. Yep.
5 plus 3.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
So you're a little perplexed, perhaps, but it seems as if you're swinging towards something, and you feel this kind of give, in a bit like oh, you're just like the devil that tricked me. Confound you!
We just wanted to pass there, and then you started attacking us.
I was here first. You're probably evildoers by the look of you, anyways. Especially that one, pointing over at Sunaelon.
Not evil enough, apparently.
It's like, that's a lot of leather, isn't it? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was all for me.
Okay, and Sunaelon yourself.
It's fiendish leather. It never goes out of style. Give me a break. So can I see this thing to do bad things to it?
You cannot see it. But you can't go there. It seems to be in front of you. You can kind of pinpoint its location, but you can't really see it. Although, yeah, clearly you're not able to move forward.
Does this mean I can't? Okay, so I guess I'm not really. So can I target anything with an attack?
You can. It would just be a disadvantage.
So and am I correct in understanding that have ranged attacks been neutralized because we can't see it? Is that right?
No, you can do range attacks as well, but it would just be with disadvantage because you can't see exactly what you're targeting. There's the few clues, like the kind of the way that the fog would kind of swirl, and and of course you could see visibly this thing like attacking your friends, and you can't seem to move any further, and that like you just kind of slam up against something. It almost feels like a little furred underneath your hand or your body there as you kind of just slam up against it, and you're kind of rebounded back.
I guess I'll give it a shot. We'll see.
And it looks like it just was kind of swirls the fog up a little bit as you end up going a little wide with your flail there.
That's it for me.
All right, Griff. Just a save from you if you don't mind.
Yeah, one sec.
Okay, you're good. All right, on this creature's turn, it just barks out, "Oh, I'm always being plagued. Oh, the luck. I do all this good, and yet things always turn bad towards me. All I wanted was for people to see me as I truly am, to hide all my flaws. I even gave away my wings for this. And now look at me. I'm so... You see him just giving into his own like self-pity and rage there, and he lashes out. He will throw a... Let's see, he'll do a bite towards Sanaelon. You feel these jaws kind of clamping. Let's see, it'll be a... Not a crit, but a 20-something to hit, so I'm assuming that will.
It's at disadvantage because I still have my spell up.
Okay, let me do that.
Or if it met any of those criteria.
Oh my gosh, I rolled two. I rolled the exact same thing. Guess that's luck. But so that was just his first attack, and then it follows it up with a... Is it still disadvantage for the second one?
Yeah, I believe they all have disadvantage.
Okay.
If he met one of those criteria, aberration, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, my bad. No. So it wouldn't. All right, so it will hit you with a bite, and then it follows it up with the claw, and then it'll throw the last one I was going to do towards Darth Small, and that was only going to be a 13? Yeah, 13 to hit Darth Small, which I believe would miss. So real quick, let me roll. So it's 11 damage total towards you there, Sanaelon, between a claw and a bite. So some of it's piercing, some of it's slashing, but 11. And then it is Pupper.
Dodge and turn.
It is Uffrey.
All right, Uffrey's going to come around the corner and see that people are kind of doing stuff there. And they'll shout out, "Well, if you wanted people to see you as you are, why are you invisible?"
Oh my goodness! Why am I invisible? He seems equally frustrated.
Do we get any sense? Is this thing like flying or standing? Hey party, is this thing on the ground or is it up in the air? Any thoughts on that? Can we tell? We saw it like as a thing in the mist on the ground, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really seem as if it's moved position at all.
All right, well, Uffrey's going to look at this space right here where everyone's going, and he is going to cast a spell. That spell is Grease. He's going to make a slick spot right there, and maybe this thing will fall prone.
Okay.
And then he's going to step back around the corner and concentrate on the spell.
So 13. Oh, he's 13 dead
DC
on.
is 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fine, but he's if he ends his turn there, he's also got to save on that. You know,
Okay.
whatever. So anyway, that space there is greased, and that'll be end of turn.
So do you want to draw it or pull out a square?
Yeah, I'll look at a spell thing.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's true. Good call there, Reese. Thank you. Do you have concentration for the enlarge?
Grease is not a concentration spell.
Oh, okay, equally good point there. My bad. Been a while since I used that one. All right, so Darth Small. Let's see if it'll.
We will continue to swing blindly. I'll go ahead and rage. Reckless, all the things that barbarians do.
Okay, nice. First one feels like it connects.
All right, that'll actually be 11 damage. That'll be my turn.
Okay. You can feel some slickness starting to spread out underneath your feet, and it might not be just the grease. Ingvi.
Yes, I caught that. You said that this creature is babbling on of everything it gave up and so on, or everything is lost, and it triggers Ingvin quite unfortunately way, and he goes like, "You're talking about what you have lost. What do you think I've lost? I've seen my comrades die. I've had them in my arms and slowing died. I can't take bear anymore because of pixie blood. Do you know what it does to a man?" And he goes on and on. And that's kind of what he does for his turn.
Okay, go ahead and give me a persuasion check with that.
Yes, give me a sec. Come in. Inspiration.
Oh shoot, not needed, but you used it. Okay,
Yes.
so all of a sudden you feel a different kind of sense in the air as like your kind of tortured words ring out, and it almost just seems to echo and din louder in here, more so than even like the clang of metal and such has. And as it kind of slowly dissipates, you hear a different sound in its place, and it's definitely like a sobbing sound. And Mortimer kind of just says, "You're right. I'm sorry. I thought I was the only one that has problems. I forget that there are others."
And Ingve Horse says, "Give me a hug. I need a hug."
All of a sudden you feel, I guess, opportunity attack from Darth Small if you want, but just a collision of fur on Ingvi as some creature of equal size as you just collides into you, and you almost feel yourself reaching for your glaive. It was glaive? Or halberd, that's what it was. For your
Halberd.
You almost feel yourself reaching for the halberd, but then you get the sense that it's not quite violent anymore, and old Morty just says, "All I wanted was to be better, and for people not to see me for my flaws I have, and that stinking devil tricked me. Now look at me. You can't look at me. And I gave up my wings too. I can't even fly. Oh, I was the most glorious manticore that would ever be seen, and now I'm nothing."
Well, I know maybe my sister can help you. She knows that devils are tricky lot, and that you always need to check this fine print because they trick people. That's what they do is with the contracts, and they try to get your soul and so on. But I'm sure we can work something out. But we're not here to fight. We're just here to figure out what's going on with this place and what's spewing out this mist and this smell bad. And I don't know anymore.
Well, I thought if I came in here and hid away, then no one would ever be able to bother me about how they can't see me. And yet, you're not the only ones. There's other folks poking about in here too, and if no one can help me get rid of this, if anyone can break this invisibility or help me in some way, I'd be eternally grateful. But if not, just please leave me.
Yes, you're free. You have some nice spells. Maybe you have something to make things visible. Or maybe we do anybody have some glitter? or something. Maybe we can. Oh yes, I know. I have this scarf. I have this scarf. I can tie it around your neck, maybe, and then we can see at least somewhat where you are.
You'd really do that for me?
Yes. Turns out you just want to be seen. Then maybe we can work something out.
Okay. Well, here's my neck right here, and it's like a bit fumbly bumbly, but you kind of get a sense of where this creature's neck is.
Okay. Okay. I see someone suggested to roll in the mud in 7C, but if you don't mind being dirty, there was a lot of mud in 7C. But maybe you would prefer the scarf around your neck.
Well, maybe
I don't know.
maybe they're
but we
both
can
good
see the whole-
ideas. Let me try. And he goes forward, and you
Yes,
hear us.
maybe you should roll in the mud first, and then we can tie the scarf to arm something or throat around your neck if you want to afterwards.
So you feel,
does
or
that sound?
you could see the fog kind of dissipate in like a kind of as if it's being divided as this invisible creature makes its way away from you. Pupper, at that sixth sense of animals have, he just shrinks up into the corner there and is like just petrified. And then you see the fog kind of split as it comes back. You're able to wrap the scarf around, and you see this friendly fellow appear, more or less, as best as he can. And he's Mortimer, and he says, "Well, I was afraid I was going to be the invisible man, Takor, forever. And yet you've come and freed me, and now I could leave this wretched place and start life anew as this beautiful creature I've become. But
Yes.
I suppose it wouldn't be right if I didn't give you something in return."
Well, if you insist, I won't stop you. But really, it's sometimes you're just lonely. It's sometimes I tell you, sometimes you feel lonely among people. Sometimes you carry stuff within you, and it's like nobody understands you. But actually, there are people that maybe they haven't experienced exactly the same thing as you, but they experience other things that not that easy things to experience, and so they understand in that sense a way.
It's like you know me from every core of my being.
Well, maybe you are a Hirman as well. I mean, I've been a Hirman for quite some time, and it's basically either you quit or you die, and you go into battle and you flung into other ships, and like you don't think about it necessarily at the time, but it is a hard life. Okay, you don't know if you will survive, and maybe you die, and you just have to do the best out of it. But it's heavy at times. It's heavy at times.
Well, I think that with your wise words there and your help, that Mortimer will be great and valiant once again. I won't plague anyone here any longer, but I'll tell you, there seems to be a key here to opening up some doors earlier on, where if you could, well, it seemed as if the beholders would put their eye stalks in those holes there, but your little phalanges would probably do the same as well. And that's
Okay.
when, Naren comes up and he's like, "Yeah, you just, oh, not that phalange. Oh, yeah, that, oh, you guys."
Yes, but before you leave this place, if you ever pass by Elmwood, if you know where that is, go. You can go asking for, or at least try asking for Gefim Bjørnstad. She's very good at talking to, and she understands a lot. She might be able to help you, or know someone who might be able to help you if you ever want to talk to someone or something specific you want help with.
Well, maybe I'll have to head right there. I wish I could fly there, but I still got to deal with that. I'm sorry about your friend there. I mean, I was in a dark place. I mean, and then you hear Naren, "Dark place! Oh my gosh, this guy!"
Yeah, sometimes we are in a dark place. We generally are, and it's not easy, but sometimes you are lucky and somebody reaches out to you and shows that there is still hope. There is something worth living for.
Yeah, you're right, and for that, I'd like you to have this. And he hands you over a little pouch. It's covered in mud now, of course, but you can open it up and you see all these like kind of triangle pyramid shaped little candies. There seems to be about 50 of them in there. You could disperse out, and each of you get about 10 of these candy corns each. And so that will be your reward for this little encounter. I know you can only benefit from these Halloween holiday things once, and so I'll include the title of this one in the session log as well. But just in case you want it now, it's called the Invisible Manticore. So I wasn't just that punny, but yeah, you guys can all take that 10 candy for that. And he'll also say, one last thing is, I saw some people kind of making their way through here. But as you can see, it's just a blank wall. I'm not sure how they did it, but perhaps with a keener eye than mine, you might find a hidden passageway there. But that's all I have for now. Thank you. I'll never forget you, especially you, Ingvi. I'm gonna seek out.
Ingvi, just before, I just want to put it out, he will try to give him a bro hug for the pouch with the candy corn.
Oh, get over here. It's a little muddy.
Yeah! And they hug, and they're like, oh, bro, I will miss you. It was nice meeting you.
It's not often
It's
you
weird.
meet a kindred spirit, and especially someone the same size as you. I mean, what are the chances?
Yeah.
My hug would kill a smaller man, and yet, get over here.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a bro moment. And then he of course gets to walk around in Unglet. Yes, I will never forget you too. Either. Maybe it's either.
You guys are just
Yeah,
like,
sorry.
whew. now that the Lifetime episode's ended. No.
Yeah.
So now that the danger has seemed to have passed here, and a story to remember for sure, you could take a closer look at the back at what he had mentioned, and that'll be a perception check. We'll go ahead and do with advantage since he had given you the heads up there.
Someone might be better at that than Nuffrey.
And then you also could try to activate the switch thing he had kind of hinted towards. By each of you would have to stick your hands into the holes.
Does everybody get a chance to look through the secret door then?
I would probably kind of limit it. That way we're not just rolling away like crazy.
All right. Well, anyone else good at perception? Let's guess. Griff is probably the one, right?
My passive perception is only 13. It's kind of tough to do that when you're dead.
Oh, we've all got. Yeah. Ingve.
Yeah. It's a possibility, yes.
Can anybody help Griff? Were you just kind of
Yes,
waiting for 2 hours?
Ingve has a healing potion, 2d4 plus 2, that he can pour into the mouth of Griff. Just give me a sec. Healing potion, yes. Boop. Ignore the 3. So you get 9.
So was
Well,
that the one you had found earlier, or was that one of your personal stock?
Personal stock.
Okay, just making a note.
Yeah, it's important to keep in mind.
Okay.
So
Well, Nuffrey will attempt to activate this this altar thing.
Okay, so it takes each of you working as a unit. And Ingvi, as long as you're enlarged, you probably are sticking like a finger in rather than a whole hand.
Yeah.
But there's enough for everybody if you all go in and shove your hand in willy-nilly.
All right. Go for it then.
Okay, it feels strange as this has most certainly been designed for like beholder eye stalks. Of course, Naren is like, "You guys look hilarious!" And then you hear the sound of stone grinding against stone throughout the entire complex. It's a pretty great deal of noise, and you feel like that probably would have helped you on somewhere deeper in the complex. A door has been grinded open.
Right. Well, Griff or Who else? Griff or Ingve, you want to look for the secret door we've been told's over here? Or you guys are the ones that might have a chance. Best
Yeah,
chance.
I can I can try and open it up. He says, and tries to walk over without crushing you.
Yeah.
I don't know what am I supposed to roll to try and open the door?
Perception, just to see if you can find what he was talking about, with advantage. So 22. So sure enough,
Thank you very much.
you gotta kind of wave your hands to get the fog out of the way, and for you, it's like a helicopter blade with your giant arms. Sure enough, you see a little lever there, but you could kind of press it, and a secret door opens up to a little passageway. Let me see if I can reveal that. Oh.
Hey guys, there's a little room in there. I don't think I can go in there, but sorry, excuse me. Beep, beep. And he tries to make his way back without crushing you, like leaving way for you to go into the little room.
Sure, Humphrey will look in here, and now that he's been pointed out the lever, I imagine, have a look. What's going on in there?
So, due to the passage you guys had taken, you kind of deactivated this route in a sense, but you can kind of backtrack through here as you see what is essentially like a gauntlet maze that was constructed by the beholders to confuse and amuse. Confuse their prey and amuse themselves as they watched them come through here. As you guys could file through here, the ones that could fit, you see the signs of like traps and such. Although it seems with putting your hands into the slots, it kind of deactivated this whole trial that you could have had to go through. So you did a good thing there as you pass through. You don't really see too much, although. It seems like this was prepared for like humanoid sacrifices to Gzemnid. There's etchings of beholders adorning the walls, and the fog, of course, is seeping from the eyes. It seems like it was a pretty nasty, malicious tunnel through there. But again, you guys kind of foiled that with the help of your Manticore friend there, and you guys can kind of go back to the start.
All right, well, let's go back to the start.
I think Ingve is like, I will go the other way, and maybe I will meet you at where we started. Maybe we will see if it leads there. Maybe it does. Who knows?
Yep, I'll concentrate as long as I can, but I think you've only got 1 minute of big time.
Okay.
We gotta act fast.
It was fun as long as it lasted, and then it's
Yeah.
All right.
you know, like Super Mario. Yeah, of course.
Okay. So.
And they got back his original size. By the way, did the Manticore have a name?
Yeah, Mortimer.
Mortimer.
Mortimer. Yep.
I have to write that down in my book.
Oh, for sure. Mortimer. Or Morty. Morty for friends, so I think you earned that. The Invisible Man to core.
But
Heyo. Alright, so you guys really only have one way to go there, so without
So DM, okay, just kind of out of character question. So
Yeah.
I kind of have a hard stop in a half hour. Are we on track?
I think so, yeah, because we just avoided a whole encounter there pretty much. It was just
Okay, cool.
just so you don't feel like you're missing out or anything. It was some zombies, but yeah, it's okay. So we did avoid a combat there, so that should help us. There's really not too much more to go.
Cool.
See, I'm messing
All
up.
right, well, we got a door.
All right, kind of. expose some
Humphrey
more.
will knock it and then open it. Actually, no, he'll just open it.
So this was, I think they were already slightly ajar, but you can pull them open and you see beyond there into this room. You kind of got a peek in there earlier, one of you did, and saw that there was a pool there in the middle. In addition to the seeping eyes, of course, the walls of this room also feature some depictions of vats. with wavy lines like water. On the south wall, you see an etching of a 2-foot wide eye in the center of a circle, breaking the pattern of eyes and vats. In the center of the room, there's an opaque, muddy pool of water. Doesn't seem like it would be incredibly deep, but it does smell pretty terrible. And you guys can do what you want. And there's a door on the other side, too.
Yeah, check out the room. Oh, yeah, prod around. Yngwie takes his halberd and pokes around in the mud. In here. I think you said it was mud. Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, it's like a muddy pool of water, and you start to stab in it. And on like a lot of the sides, you can kind of run the tip of your halberd there. But all towards the middle of the pool, it seems to be just a little bit deeper than what you can fully reach at the full extension there. Although you feel it kind of jab against something, as if there's something there kind of in the bottom, but until you can like really get in and reach in, you can't really tell what it is.
He will tell the rest of the girls that it seems to be something here. I'm not sure what it is. Do any of you have something that could reach it and try and pick it up without going into it?
Is it a thing that we can see, or is it like this muck is not, you can't see through it, right? It's not
Yeah, you
like
can't.
dirty water or anything?
Yeah, it's too thick. It's too dark.
Alright.
Well, if nobody does, and well, I can always jump in. I mean, why not? You only live once, right? Or maybe twice.
Yeah,
right?
sure. I can, if it gets dirty, I can clean you up a little bit if you want.
Yeah, as long as you can retrieve my corpse, just go to Ambridge and give it to my sister, and she can raise me.
Let's tie a rope around you first. Then that'll make it easy.
That's the good idea.
Oh my
then
gosh.
you can just retrieve me.
It disappears into the far realm.
Yeah, and anyway, they tie a rope around him, and he goes into and tries to pick up the thing.
Okay, so you're already kind
Maybe
of
it's
covered
there,
in...
maybe it's another square, but yeah.
You're covered and crusted in mud already from your bro hugs, but you're able to just sploosh in, but you could feel that there's quite a bit of refuge that's kind of built up here in the bottom, but there seems to be something there of a little bit bigger size, although it's you kind of got to locate it, I suppose. But for getting the danger and for prodding around with your halberd there, if you'll give me a perception check with advantage.
Yes, give me a sec.
As you just start pulling stuff up, and one's like a bone, one handfuls of muck that you're just sloshing out and flinging on the walls and stuff until you eventually feel your hands wrap around a pouch of sort. And as you pull it up, you see this sack in your hands, and you can open it, and you see an assortment of gems inside, probably totaling over 100 gold. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's about 125 total.
Yeah, he gives the pouch to Sonalion because she's beside him, and then he gets up. Stands all muddy. It looks like he's been mud wrestling, probably.
Yep. Someone's gonna prestidigitate you, right?
Uffrey can prestidigitate. But I don't know. What do you want? Do you want the odd odor or do you want the mud off? Which one?
Well, we can start with getting the mud off.
Okay. A couple of quick. Take a little bit of time to help clean up Yngwie.
Well, at least the worst of it. If it's some remains, just take the worst of it. But it's probably taking a bit of time.
It's like a little fan starts to go off, and the mud just starts to fly off of you, and then, of course, that kind of a stale smell still remains, but you look very spick and span.
Yeah. Yeah, he will need a bath after this adventure.
Definitely. Age-old mud. That seems to be the only thing really here to identify. It seems, I think it was Sanaelon earlier who had identified the the symbol is to be in Gzemnid. In any case, though, you kind of see that again here as you look at these carvings all around you in this room. This seems to be like a cleansing pool, not too clean anymore, but yeah, most definitely dedicated to Gzemnid, like everything else. He was a much beloved figure. I'm sure he was nothing but good. But you guys can push on into the next room if you desire.
Yes, we do that.
And you see...
Well, you know, I mean, that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Ayo!
Nice one.
Naren's just like,
All right.
you guys are a riot! How come I never thought of that one? Oh, that would have kept me out of the jar for sure.
All right, so big room with some rocks over here.
Oh, so you guys come into this and are immediately taken back by how the walls are decorated, vastly different with the images here than that you've seen in the rest of the temple. Of course, the seeping eyes are still dotted around, but in this room you see that the north and south walls are featuring large circles with a single eye, watching, ushering, chasing, and even eating terrified, screaming humanoids, much like yourselves. All the humans are running with their arms raised in terror. However, the etchings bear clear attempts at defacement by clawed creatures. Seems as if the trolls that took over after didn't like seeing their ancient kin being swallowed up and such. The west wall is clearly a dedication to a one-eyed god. Covering most of it is a gigantic circle with a single eye looking emptily across the chamber you're in. Below it you see several stone tablets lying broken and scattered. Up to the north there are a set of double doors that are secured. They're shut at least, and they seem to have clear claw gouges in them. Those of you that are a little more attuned to magic feel a very strong radiation of abjuration magic kind of coming from the doors. Although it seems as if you don't have to force them open. They're not shut tight anymore. By activating that thing earlier, these doors are indeed passable. So you just, whenever you're ready, you can bust them up open. But no
And
rush.
these here were some of the eyes that were knocked over, right? Or the trolls things that were knocked over.
So they're broken tablets, eroded stone tablets with intelligible carvings on them. They're spread below the gigantic beholder on the wall. If anyone, like I know we got a warlock, I don't know if you have the Eyes of the Runekeeper invocation, or if anyone understands deep speech.
No, sorry. Ingvi only knows common and Luskan.
We'll come back to that. Uffrey might want to comprehend languages to check that out. But let's go. Keep going. Don't want to take 10 minutes right now to do that.
Okay, so y'all gonna leave him and come back and check him later?
I mean, did we hear anything from the north here?
No, but the doors are pretty well closed there.
Well, you know what? Why not? I'll just let's take 10, folks.
If we are taking 10, do we need a short rest? What do people think about that?
I'll just ritual cast this. Check it out. The deep speech.
I'd say you don't really feel like this would be the best place to take a short rest necessarily. There's maybe not any present danger, but you feel you don't really know what lurks ahead or around you or anything.
No.
But as far as taking 10 minutes, you can do that.
Yeah.
But with the comprehend languages, you can see that in deep speech, this tablet contains prayers written in an ancient dialect of deep speech, praising the one and only deity Gzemnid. You can see that these would probably be worth some gold to collectors of historical lore, and if you guys want to collect them up, you could probably sell them to the right person for like 75 gold.
All right, well, we shall do that then.
There you go. You stopped and got a little extra gold for the time. But you guys are able to push into this next chamber whenever you're ready.
We are doing that, yes?
Okay. You
Let's
guys
do it.
push it open, and you see a statue depicting the first beholder, Gzemnid, the god of fog, clouds, obscurement, and deception. In the center of his main eye, there's an enormous lapis lazuli plugging the statue's pupil. And you see that you are indeed not alone here, as there are some other people here, quite a collection of them actually, and a couple zombies that seem to be under their thrall as well. But as you guys come in, you see them, of course, which I'm about to reveal. Just 1 second. I think I need to... Boop. Okay. So you see these fellows, and there are a couple little zombie companions in here, and they see you, of course, as you open the door. And it seems as if the leader of the bunch, kind of a rough and tumble mercenary-looking fellow, but he is seeming to wear a good amount of red, coincidentally. But as you lock eyes with him as you enter the room, he turns, and his eyes kind of show surprise, and he's like, "What? No! You're not gonna get this! This is another merit to my name, and surely the archmages will see me now!" And he just rips the lapis lazuli from its holder here in the statue, and then immediately just starts belching forth this thick green smoke, just automatically filling the air around you. You see the kind of snide confidence turn to just abrupt terror as the man looks back towards his friends, and he says, "Oh, I think we may have done more than we intended, boys. Let's scram!" And they turn to start running up out of here.
Yeah, about that. I think that's our lapis lazuli gem. Why don't you leave that, and we'll let you leave with your lives, or not? What do you think?
You can do a perception check. Or persuasion, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said perception. My bad. Persuasion.
Yeah, I'll use my DM inspiration on this.
Okay. All right. He throws the lapis behind him, and you can see real fear in his eyes as the distance between him and you starts to be covered up by that thick green smoke, and he yells back, "Look! This is going to be a bigger problem than anything else, and now it's on your hands. Good luck!" And they just tear on out of here. He throws down the lapis there. It kind of clinks to the ground and basically where the number 9 is, and they all start to run up out of the chamber to the north, zombies in tow as well. As you guys soak in that situation, you also start to soak in a little bit more. Even those of you that are starting to hang back, this belching smog just starts to fill the air around you, and I'll need every single one of you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Just give me a sec. Oh!
Oh, I use
That can't
DM.
never bother me anyway. Sorry.
I was going to use DM inspiration as well.
Okay, that's Griff, right?
Uh,
Or no, that's fucking Darth.
Yep.
There's a lot of things bothering me, but this fog isn't one of them. Or guess.
And I'm going to go ahead and run the hell out.
Okay, so it looks like Darth, Uffrey, and Ingvi, you'll take 1 poison damage. Griff, Sanellan, you had the 9?
Yep.
Okay, so Griff, Sanellan, and that's it. Actually, you guys will take 3 poison damage, and you looks like shoot, both of y'all are poisoned as well. So
My token just disappeared.
Did it?
I see my name and my health bar, but the art for the token is no longer visible.
Right here, I can
That's
see.
weird.
Is it still
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, now it's working.
Okay, cool. Maybe just a little glitch or something, but yeah. So you guys feel that kind of a poison start to take a hold, and then what do you guys want to do?
I think that if Sonalion is poisoned, then maybe Ingvi should come and pick her up. So, to get her out of the place.
Well, Sonalion still, functional? You're not like
Yeah,
paralyzed.
you're just poisoned. Yeah, so it'd be like disadvantage
Okay,
on some things.
Then you don't need that. Okay, sure. No problem.
Ingvi rushes forward and like tries to pick you up. You're like, I'm good. It's like, oh my bad. I just like.
Yeah, sure. Why not? We do it. He comes up like, oh,
Thought you needed me.
like, and Sonali is like, but dude, I still functioning. I'm like, I'm just pregnant. I'm not sick.
Oh, my
dude,
bad.
chill out.
Right.
And now it's a joke. I can explain afterwards. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, still function. Okay, fine, no problem. Leaves you be. Yes.
It happens. I'm just trying to help. Okay, so.
Are we running out, or are we going forward? Does this poison cloud, is that persistent, or did it just go poof and then it kind of dissipates?
It's persistent, and it's filling up this chamber and beyond. It seems like this is quite a problem. Perhaps not just for you guys or even Triel, but maybe even for all of the Sword Coast if something doesn't happen with this.
Well, so now is it coming out of like the place where the lapis lazuli was, like the beholder's eye?
It is. It's coming out thick from what it seems to be the pupil of the eye, and then Darth Small, he just turned and ran out the other way. But you notice that they all exited from this chamber up to the north.
Well, Uffrey's going to grab the lapis lazuli and try and press it back into the eye socket.
Can Ingvi try and help him with that?
You guys scramble to pick up this massive lapis lazuli, and as you're going to shove it back into the pupil hole, oh man, untold coins of how much this would be worth start to just mount up in your mind, and you got more important things. You shove it into the hole, and it seems to be effective. The gas kind of cuts off and sputters until it's eventually gone, and then you kind of have that moment, and then eventually kind of a sigh of relief as you realize that you just prevented a huge catastrophe from going over the land. So the danger seems to have passed in the moment. You guys can proceed in either way you see fit. You see...
Should we follow the guys or go a different way?
We can follow the guys simply to... Vad heter det? Coverera.
Alright.
English. Like boast or brag. Boast or brag about, oh yeah, good chickens. Sweet summer chickens.
And sure enough, they indeed are some chickens, as I guess it's a good thing that I did submit an additional encounter here, because you guys did kind of skim over a couple, which is okay. I can always throw them at you anyways, of course, but that's not in the spirit of creativity and figuring things out. As you guys can kind of investigate the last bit of Gzemnid's temple here, you come through this area that is most certainly a sacrificial chamber. There's an indent in the floor underneath your feet where it's about the right size and shape of a humanoid to be laid there, where their blood would trickle out here to the statue of Gzemnid for some horrible machinations, I'm sure. The next chamber above is kind of an access way. It's barren, and it only shows the signs of recent travel. These guys are most certainly Thayans, and they have just turned tail and ran as far and as fast as they could. So you kind of found their little secret way in here. Then you come out into what's basically a storage room, that number 12. And in it, there's a 10-foot wide hole that's been broken away, that it's admitting light from this camp. And you guys can come out here, take a look through the stuff. And of course, you will find a couple things. The first and most interesting is, it looks like the leader there had him a nice little treasure hidden away in a crate. And as you guys pop it open, you see something that they must have discovered here in the temple and hidden away to take back to Thay. And it is a shield emblazoned with a large eye symbol. And that is actually the magic item for this adventure. So I will... Oops. Pop it up to you guys. I scheduled for an extra hour just because I knew I threw that encounter in. But we did get done a little early. I could probably even throw another... Oh, well, no, I know someone said they had to go right now, but... I guess we'll talk more in a second. But anyways, let me show you this first. As you guys will get a sentinel shield. While holding the shield, you'll get advantage on your initiative rolls and perception checks. It's emblazoned with the symbol of an eye. I would even flavor it to say that it would be the same symbol all over this temple, that this is like a shield dedicated to Gzemnid that is now in your possession. Pretty cool magic item there. And you also find an ornamental knife worth 140 gold. And as you're kind of looking over, you find a letter that explains a little bit more about what they were doing and kind of confirms any suspicions you had that these might have been Red Wizards. It says, Vrex, the Red Wizards require your aid and assistance once more. An ancient structure has resurfaced along the banks of the Winding Water, a river running through the Troll Claws. We expect this structure to possess artifacts of high interest to us. We ask of you to assemble a team, go to the Troll Claws, find this building, and retrieve any items of monetary or historic value. Stay vigilant for Thay. So that kind of secures some information there for you guys. And you guys did reinsert the lapis, so you kind of saved the day there. The last thing really to do is to wrap up. It takes you till about nightfall to return back to Triel and check in at the Singing Wind, where old Soggy Wren himself awaits you. And as, of course, you guys start to relay the tale to Soggy, the villagers around, they all start to gather. There's like a whole throng and an audience to kind of hear what you have to say. And so if anybody has anything specific they would want to mention, he says... Friends, what you saw, what you witnessed, tell me. We need proof.
Well, isn't this shield enough proof for you? It's the same ours like that it was on the vad heter det? In the temple.
Indeed, and you said you came across
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, please tell me. You said you came across some others there.
Yes, some people.
Yeah, like our friend here with us, Naren. Did Naren come with us?
No, he. My bad. Parting is such sweet sorrow. I shouldn't glaze past him. As you guys would exit the temple, there he kind of turns and he's like, "Well, I think our time has passed. This is my home, and I'm probably going to be the king of this castle now because there's no one else here alive. So, thanks, you guys. Come back and see me. Maybe I'll turn this into a place where we can have shows, great lights." Maybe laser beams shooting out of the eye. Maybe I'll rethink that one. Huh.
Yeah, it could be a great comedy club.
You're right. We could let people get lost all up in there. It'd be hilarious.
Wait, have you ever heard about stand-up comedy? Something like that? A person stands up at a scene and on the stage and tells some like funny stories or jokes or whatever. How about that? Maybe this would be a good place for that? Maybe?
He says, well, I've heard of it, but I don't have any legs to stand on. Am I right? And he does some circles. He starts flying in circles and such.
Oh, yeah.
You still got it there, Naren. You still got it.
Hey, come and see me. I'll be here.
Yes.
Surely the waters won't rise again and cover me up. I mean, that would be tragic, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Maybe that's the nature of things. Maybe you should actually move. Take this opportunity and move somewhere else where there's not water all the time. Waterlogged? Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. Terribly waterlogged, but maybe it's over. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that, or maybe it will go back when the season is right. Springtide? No. Well, when spring comes around, then the ice melts, and there will be lots of water, and then maybe it will always be a flood. But I don't think I've met any floodings around Faroe, so maybe mainland doesn't have any floodings. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
He's like, well, I
These
heard what you
things.
said about that man guy, Morty. And, I kind of align with a lot of that as well. Maybe I do need to go out and try my own hand and let people, judge me for good or bad and see what happens. Surely I'll get a word in before they judge me by sight.
You try that? Just a word of advice, just so you know that some people most people are going to ignore you, but then you have the nice people, and they are always fun to meet, and then you have the bad people, and they are always a pain to meet. But don't let the bad people keep you away from what you want to do. It's quite important, actually. They will try to get you down and whatever because they are petty like that, but don't let it get to you too much. It's I know it's hard at times. It's hard, but at least try and keep the memory of the good people and keep the good people around you. At least try.
He kind of like slides over to Griff and like nudges him, and he's like, "Geez, was this guy like tortured or something? What happened to this guy?"
Who knows? Who knows whatever happened to Yngwie? Nobody knows.
Jeez.
Maybe Yngwie have had some heavy thoughts, and maybe he has had some good people around him to help him out and help him sort his thoughts.
Yeah, one adventure at a time. And then, you gotta, it's like, sometimes it's one step forward, two steps back with the things that happen, but yeah,
Yeah, and maybe it's the broken swords that's been helping out. Who knows?
So back at the Singing Wind, Rin he said, tell me about those folks there. I need to know. I have my suspicions.
They're typical red wizards, dickheads with bald, that are bald and tattooed.
That definitely does sound like them, quite phallic in many ways. But how do you know this to be true for sure? To make any moves, we need some proof.
We found a camp. We have their stuff.
So he kind of takes a peek.
Here's this letter.
Ah, there it is. Let me see that. Just as I feared. The Red Wizards operated in the heartland of the Sword Coast. What an unpleasant turn of the tides. Well, I do have a bit of admittance there. I work with a group called the Harpers. We spread out not just all over Sword Coast, but even further. And I didn't lie to you. My orders have been to secure areas and keep an eye out for the Red Wizards as they seem to be trying to regain the strength that we've been so eagerly trying to strip from them. Looks like you guys successfully did that once more, and the Harpers will most certainly want to hear about this, as things have been getting quite tough for us. And yet, I bid you to go forth, my new friends, and continue your good work in the world. Be on the watch for those red wizards and their vile deeds, and if you're ever in need of any help, seek us out in Old Brenta Villa in the Waterdeep area. The Harpers will always try to help you if you're one to help the people. And safe journeys to you now. As he takes a big old swig off of his wine bottle there and kind of heads out.
There was something he
Thanks.
said.
Got to run. Thanks, Sally. There you go.
What's up?
It was something he said, but I can't quite put my finger on it. It's always annoying when that time happens. He said something that just stings my mind. Wizard. Oh, well, anyway.
It is funny because he's like, I know what you're thinking. I did say I'd give a reward, but Well, you're free to keep anything you had there, and the true reward this time is knowing that you have friends around the corner. When you need us, we'll be there when you least expect it. So, yeah, it's funny because it does totally at the start, he says that he will give an unspecified reward, but it's totally not there.
It was kind of forgotten. Oh god.
He's like, he's like, one moment, friends. He's like, quickly exits it. Oh, shit. I didn't think they'd make it back, if I'm being honest.
All right, Ellie, thanks for the great game. I gotta run. See you all later.
Okay. It was fun playing with you as well. Take care.
Hey, thanks, Shaw. That was really fun.
I imagine it was like, well, maybe you need to keep your pockets secure from the pickpocketers. Maybe even though this isn't like a Baldur's Gate or Waterdeep, then you need to keep an eye out for your possessions.
He's like, just one of life's many lessons. Bye now.